Okay, guys, so let's get this show on the road. So the prompt tonight is the ICE shootings are justified. Martae will be on the affirmative. Manar and Mr. Workademics. By the way, Mr. Work, good to see you today. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. So it's going to be Manar
Can you hear
and
me?
Workademics. Yeah, I could hear you. Can you hear us? Mr.
Yeah,
Work?
there's a delay, but you're good.
Okay. All right. So Manar and Mr. Work are going to be on the negative. So we will start off. Mr. Work and Manar, do you guys both have opening statements? Manar? Mr. Work? Yes or no? Just give a nod.
Yeah,
if you do.
sure.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Work? Do you have an opening statement?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So you guys will each have 7-minute openings.
I do have an opening statement.
Okay. So you guys will each get 7-minute opening statements. Martae, since he is on the affirmative, he will go first. So let me get this timer all started. Alrighty. Martae, I will begin the timer whenever you're ready.
I have a video that I want to present. It should be it should be sent to you right now. There you go.
Go. What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
The New York Times and liberals have argued the vehicle did not aim at him. In fact, the officer stepped in front of the vehicle, and they've asked, why did he step in front of the vehicle? However, people on the right have argued the vehicle reverses and lines up with him. Actually, I think it's fair to say both are occurring. The DHS officer is standing to the front right side of the vehicle, and he takes a step to his left as the vehicle reverses. The pan of the camera makes both look a bit more exaggerated, but from the new angle we've seen from CNN, he's not in front of the vehicle, but he is taking a step to his right as the vehicle is reversing and turning to its right, creating this lineup. Now, here's where I see the most important part. As we move forward, we can see, watch the wheels tilted to the left, not to the right, and you can then see the wheel spin out. See the wheel spinning out? Yes. That is acceleration into the officer. However, due to what appears to be ice on the ground, I can only assume, it spins and doesn't gain traction. There's two assumptions. Due to ice being on the ground, it spun out and she released the accelerator, or the ECS system, the electronic stability control, stops the wheel from spinning the moment it spins out. So this is something we've had for 20 plus years. After the wheel, which is aimed at him, spins out, which means he heard the engine go boom, he then pulls his gun. The vehicle right now, you can see the wheel is beginning to tilt, is still going forward.
Yes.
He then points the gun at her and steps to his right.
He still hasn't turned.
And now she's turning. Right? This is the point. The gun is aimed at her. The vehicle begins its turn.
He's completely
Now, the important thing is you can see the officer's leg right here. Watch his feet slide. His feet slide, okay? He's not taking a step. He's sliding backwards. That's because the vehicle is pressing on him. The vehicle has made contact with his body. He is now being pushed back. And once that happens, he fires the first shot.
car! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Don't move! Don't move! Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Get out! Get out!
I need help, sir.
Yeah, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Suspect's been shot. Send me out.
This is why we shoot. This is why we shoot, to stop the threat, because things like this will happen.
Damn. This is crazy.
This looked familiar, right? You guys have seen something like this before recently? Maybe Renee Good?
See, at what point, according to these liberals, do you shoot?
Oh, officer went in the air. Airtime.
Crazy. See?
Probably broken a couple ribs. Probably could have killed him.
Oh, she was just trying to get out of the way. She was just trying to leave. Should have shot.
All right, Vic, let's begin. I got like 2 minutes left. So the officer was recording Renee Good's vehicle specifically to build evidence for a potential 18 USC 111 charge, assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, or interfering with a federal officer. The statute has been dusted off and used a lot more lately because there's been a surge in people, a lot of them U.S. citizens, obstructing federal agents from doing their job, right? So AUSAs are picky about which cases they prosecute and don't like going to trial. So they make sure that the case is airtight before they sign off on a criminal complaint or convene a grand jury for indictment. For 18 USC 111 cases, they almost always want the law enforcement officer to record the whole interaction positively to identify the persons and issue a clear verbal warning on camera before moving to arrest and charge. That's the standard playbook to lock in probable cause to make the case airtight. However, the Supreme Court ruling does, the court explained, as in other Fourth Amendment contexts, the reasonableness inquiry in excessive force case is an objective one. The question is whether the officer's actions are objectively reasonable in light of the facts and circumstances confronting them, without regard to their underlying intent or motivation. The court also cautioned the reasonableness of a particular use of force must be judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene, rather than with the 2020 vision of hindsight, which is the video that we just saw. The court further explained the reasonableness of a particular use of force must be judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene, and in calculus must embody an allowance for the fact that the police officers are often forced to make split-second decisions about the amount of force necessary in particular situations. I'm proceeding to go ahead with this, and I'll body both of you on this, and I'd love to see the arguments on why that use of force or Preddy's use of force wasn't justified, which I can articulate through this whole case, and I'd love to hear the arguments. I'm waiting to get into this.
All right. Thank you very much, Martae, for your opening statement. So which one of you two want to go first, Work or Manar?
Up to Manar.
Well, let's just go. How about Mr. Work? We'll let you go first.
Ahead. Go ahead,
How
Work.
about
Okay, sounds good. So I'm sorry, I'm just getting back from the grocery store. Okay, so timer, you can start the timer. I just want to say this is kind of impromptu, so I don't have clips like Martae to show. However, those clips are not even needed here. I think what we're talking about is the justification if this shooting was justified. And Alex Preddy, Martae, in another debate conceded that the shooting was in the wrong, but the cops were basically still allowed to because they were working with the knowledge they had on hand. However, Alex Preddy did not pose a threat when he was disarmed to be deleted. So with that being said, I just want to say, when it comes to Martae's, when it comes to Martae's clip here of the lady, and Martae says we shoot to eliminate the threat. That's what Martae said. The problem is, once the cop was cleared from the front of her vehicle, the vehicle no longer posed a threat to the lady. So the threat was eliminated at that time. However, the shooting still occurred. So on top of that, Martae, there's actual footage that shows the guy's 2 feet to the side of the vehicle. He's not in front of the vehicle. There's no threat with the vehicle. But assuming Martae's logic that, this is why it's justified to shoot to eliminate the threat because they could run you over. Assuming that's Martae's logic here, then you have to say, well, why didn't he shoot her earlier? As soon as she reversed the car, she's a threat right there. Why wait for her to even move towards him? Just execute her right there in the street. You see, this is the absurdity that it gets into when you take Martae's perspective, is that if the cops are in fear for their life, they have to end somebody. It's understood with the position that they're in that they put their life at risk. If they don't want to put their life at risk, go be a stock clerk. Go be somebody who stocks shelves or something. You see, but the problem is there's an inherent risk associated to being a police officer or a law enforcement officer. So the fact that their life is at risk is not a justification in itself. The vehicle, once he cleared the front of her vehicle, she was no longer a threat to him. Alex Purdy, Martae already conceded that he was disarmed, so he should not have got deleted. And it's funny, he didn't talk about that one. He just talked about the lady. So I'm still interested to see what his perspective is on that. How much time do I got left, Vic?
You got like about 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Man, that's a long time, man. So with that, I want to say, Manar easily destroyed Martae in the last debate. Everybody saw it. It was clear victory. This debate, Martae is also getting destroyed. But let's talk about the 30 for 30 agenda, right? So Martae didn't want to talk about this last time because he was running from the 30 for 30 agenda. When I see these ICE events, I know basically it's an attempt by the government to normalize the deletion of its citizens. That's all this is. The government wants free say to be able to execute somebody for whatever reason, and it's justified. The 30 for 30 agenda is the narrative that women should occupy 30% of law enforcement by the year 2030. What's the problem with that? Women inherently are not as physically strong as men. So if a woman cop is stopping a man and the mere fact that he's arguing with it, there's some level of justification now where she could say, I'm in fear for my life. He's outsized me. If he turns aggressive towards me, then he can easily outstrength me and use my firearm against me. But agendas like the 30 for 30 and what we're seeing with these ICE shootings are basically the government reining in and normalizing the execution of its citizens. And that's the whole agenda here that they're trying to push. With that, I'll concede my rest of my time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Work, for your opening statement. Manar, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Kjol for hosting this debate, and Martae for accepting a 1v2. I guess he's so confident because of his past experience that he thinks this is going to be an easy debate, that he wanted to deal with two people at once. No problem, but this is actually amazing. Thank God that Martae accepted this debate. This is showcasing the bad apple theory. There are no bad apples. They are all disgusting, humiliated, and they all think the same way. This guy is a retired law enforcement officer who is right now justifying the murder of a woman by an authoritarian federal enforcement arm that came into their homes, came into their cities, came into their streets, that are not from there. They are not the police force. They are not state issued. They're not even military. Imagine a military armed military force came into your homes, and IFBB Pro Martae is saying it's good. I like it. All the American civilians need to shut up and enjoy the show. Let them do whatever they want in your streets. You're not even allowed to videotape them. And if you're exercising your American rights of holding a gun that you registered, that is on your property, but you're in the vicinity of these federal officers, you have the right to be murdered and executed on the streets of America, in your own city, in your own streets, no matter what American you think you are. Thank you, IFBB Martae, for exposing the disgusting mentality of all the law enforcement officers, proving that it's not bad apples. You are all should be eradicated and lashes or execution to all of you. Absolutely disgusting. His argument for why it's justified to murder Renee was another video of where it seems to be showcasing a reasonable justification of imminent danger, that all the cops in the video are pulling their guns and shooting at the singular target. How is this equivalent to the situation we have with Renee Good? How many officers pulled their weapons at Renee Good? Do you know? Does Martae know? The singular officer that shot is the same officer that pulled the gun, and the only officer that pulled the gun at that situation, even though there was another officer being threatened by the vehicle, he did not seem to believe there was reasonable imminent danger on his life to pull a gun. It was only the person that stopped moving. By the way, we're going to discuss this imminent danger. Give me a second. Next, Alex Preddy. How many people pulled the gun on that? How many police officers pulled the gun to showcase a reasonable suspicion of imminent danger at the time from this person? Not a single one, except the officer that was there, that was the last person to arrive at the scene, that only had 5 seconds to assess the situation. The officers that were there before him were trying to subdue and believe there was so much no imminent danger, there's no reasonable belief of imminent danger, that one of them, and here's the case in point imminent, they believed that he had ample time to disarm Alex Preddy. How can you argue that there was imminent danger at the same time? That is reasonable belief for an officer, but the other officers in the area did not pull any weapons, and not a single one of them shot. And actually, the officers went ahead and disarmed, showcasing that there was zero evidence of imminent danger from the other officers that were there beforehand. Absolutely disgusting. Let's go back to Renee. The only justification he has is that this person had a belief that he was going to die right now, and she was driving right into him. Do you know, according to U.S. policy, U.S. Department of Justice policy of use of deadly force 1-16.100, only time you're allowed to shoot a moving vehicle is if there's no other opportunities for you to do anything else, and if there's no other weapons. Renee Good, we knew there was zero other threats from her inside the vehicle, absolutely zero. The only threat was the vehicle itself, and we all know it. And it's so clear that she was trying to escape that she backed up the vehicle. If she had the threat in mind to murder the officer, she wouldn't have backed up. Why are you backing up? You're wasting ample time. The officer's right in front of you, and you're
Manar's behaving right now. That's
Manar?
what's going on.
I think he froze. I paused his time whenever he unfreezes. Oh,
it's too epic for the conversation.
Yeah. You froze for a little bit, Manar. Whenever you're ready, I'll restart the timer.
Hey, just I don't know what happened with my camera. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Can you hear me though? You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Let me back. Yeah. So there's reasonable suspicion of imminent danger from a woman sitting in her car telling you, hey, get out of my streets. These are my streets. This is my city. You're a federal military arm that I'm going to keep an eye on you. And IFBB Pro, the law enforcement guy who knows the law, who's a previous Homeland investigator, says, yes, the guy was justified to murder your mother who was sitting in the street picking up her daughters. Yes, he was justified. Why? Because he feared for his life. This fucking grown-ass 40-year-old steroided up man is the fear of his life, because instead of getting out of the way, which is actually according to the policy in 1-16.0, because it says here, law enforcement and correctional officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force only when necessary. That is when the officer has reasonable belief that the subject of such force poses an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury. But he cannot shoot a moving vehicle because, according to Section 2 of this law, the vehicle you cannot shoot a moving vehicle if the person. The only time you can shoot is if the vehicle is threatening the officer with deadly force by means other than the vehicle, or The vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens the cause of life or serious injury, physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which also include moving out of the path of the vehicle. The cop had ample time while she's backing up to move out of the path of the vehicle, which is why not a single other officer believed that there was imminent threat except him. And he had ample time to do so, and he stopped moving in order to pull his gun. In the IFBB Pro video, he showcased that the guy stopped moving so he can pull his gun, so you can showcase that he had an imminent belief of danger. But according to his own policy, he actually had he was forced to actually get out of the way because he had ample time to do so. That's for Nicole Good. Alex Pretty, you have no justification. You have nothing except to lie about pulling his hand next to his holster. Which, I mean, this is a joke. I mean, well, I'll get into this debate, whatever you want to justify it. But all I want to argue is Martae's only argument is to equivocate these unjustified shootings to other shootings that seem to be justified that are not equivalent, where all the officers believe there is reasonable suspicion of imminent danger. Give me 10 seconds. Where all the officers believe there is imminent danger of threats, that all of them pulled their weapons and all of them aimed them at the same suspect and all of them fired. These situations, no other officer believed the reasonable suspicion of imminent threat except the shooting officers. And actually what they showcase these officers is a very big lack of training. Like the second officer of the Alex Pretty emptied his weapon, not understanding the power of a single.
Okay, Manar.
Showcasing he's not trained at all, zero training, and this guy says it's justified. Thank you for showcasing how disgusting you are. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Manar, for that opening statement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the 1 hour back and forth, I just want to remind you that we will be holding a Q&A portion after the closing statements. So any questions or rebuttals or arguments that you have for any of these gentlemen, that's where they will be read. And if they are just going to be ad hom attacks or just personal insults, I will not be reading them during the Q&A portion. I'll reread them after the debate is fully over. So let me reset the timer.
Wait, cool, Vic, I have a question. Are we doing the open section now, the open panel questions? Because the debate's over. Martae already lost.
What?
All right.
What is he talking about?
All right. All right.
Wait, is this your first debate, Mr. Work, or what?
Oh, yeah, it is, actually. It's my first formal one.
You're using what precedents to make that decision since you're not the moderator? Because the poll hasn't came out yet.
Solid, valid
here we go.
arguments.
Mr. Poll, bro. Mr. Poll. It's not a scientific poll, bro.
Okay, all right. All right, we will be holding a scientific poll after the debate. So, but gentlemen, let's get ready. We are about to begin the 1 hour debate. And by the way, if it gets too wild, I will do like a 2-minute back and forth if it gets too uncontrollable. But hopefully, you guys are able to control yourselves. So, gentlemen, I'll begin this. So let's start.
God forbid we let Kuehl do any work here, guys. Stop it. Don't worry about that, Kuehl. We will not let you do anything.
So I need to address both of your opening statements. I actually took notes real quick. Just let me get 1 minute real quick just to get this out, and then I'll happily respond to both of your rebuttals. So to address Mr. Work, the vehicle wasn't a threat after she hit the officer. That's what I'm saying. The vehicle wasn't a threat till afterwards, right? We would say that, right? That's your argument. No, the vehicle was a threat before. Matter of fact, this is post hoc justification. You're adding on, not pre-planning, which we saw on the footage. He basically was hit first, right? When she headed his direction. The reason why he was cleared from the vehicle. Hold on real quick. Hold on. The reason why he was cleared from the vehicle was because he was hit. The 30 for 30 has zero bearing on this case. You bring this up. Bringing up also another debate is irrelevant because we're having this debate, which is a separate one altogether.
I think it was a good point to bring up. I think it's a good point to bring up to showcase that there might be a systemic movement.
Hold on. Yeah. I know. I understand that real quick. But now to address Manar, yes, they aren't state issue or military. They're federal issue.
Also, can I just address what you said and then you address Manar? Because
hold on real quick. One at a time real quick because I have to do two at once.
Also, so you did me and then I have
you didn't address the argument by telling me there are no bad apples, which is something I've never said. Only one officer has to pull a weapon because his perception was directional to the momentum of the vehicle's trajectory. The officer officer had no other choice but to pull his gun.
Hey, thank you. So no other officer believes there's reasonable suspicion of imminent danger. Thank you. Hey, by the way, this is working for me. Keep the energy, okay?
The one officer believes that.
You just conceded that. You just conceded no other officer would have the reasonable suspicion to pull his weapon. That's what you just conceded. Because they were not in imminent danger. That's literally what you just conceded. Why is he muted?
Martae, you're muted.
It doesn't make a difference. He's not saying anything.
Martae, muted.
Muted or not muted, he's not saying.
Hey, work. I'll let you have him.
There you go.
The officer had no other choice but to pull the gun. What was he supposed to do? Stop the car with his superpowers, or he's supposed to get hit by the 3,000-pound weapon? The officer
get out of the way. That's in his policy. He's supposed to.
No,
get
it's
out
not
of
against policy. If anybody knows
literally
policy,
his policy. He had ample time to get out of the way.
No,
that was
3
the
seconds
first thing
is not ample time. 3 seconds is not ample time.
Backing up the vehicle, you can see the vehicle's backing up. You have ample time to get out of it.
Manar, the reason why I'm about to demonstrate why he didn't have ample time, he actually suffered internal bleeding according to these reports, which I can show.
He left the scene of the crime. I don't know what happened to him. He could have went and punched himself in the head. I don't know what he did.
Which means he didn't have any time.
Did he fall?
Hold on.
If he was striked and he had internal bleeding, how much time does that show he had? None, right? Before he got hit?
The guy went and started walking to the vehicle, showcasing there was zero damage on him. He left the scene and then came back with bruising. I don't know what he did when he left the scene.
No, you can leave the scene with internal bleeding and then have reports afterwards. He left the scene
with the internal bleeding and then came back later.
Hold on. Internal bleeding is just a bruise. You know that, right? A bruise is just damaged capillaries.
Wait, hold on. If officer assault is somebody spitting on me, would that still be assault?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not arguing.
Right. Okay, so if he got hit, it's irregardless of how bad the damages were. If he can show that he was hurt and assaulted by this car.
Wait,
I'm telling you from the video you showed us, there doesn't showcase that the bruising is from the actual car because he didn't get hit, he didn't fall, he didn't back up, he started walking immediately. There was zero damage on him.
No, hold on. We all saw the footage.
All of a sudden he has this damage.
So Tim Pool had actually. Tim Pool was narrating the video of the officer's feet sliding because the car had hit him and pushed him.
Number one propagandist. He said that Charlie Kirk, he got number one.
No. This was on the video.
Charlie Kirk was alive the moment that he.
I can have Vic replay the video if you want of the officer being pushed by the vehicle.
Bro, you just appealed to Tim Pool. Tim Pool also said the wheels were spinning in a fucking.
No. I'm appealing to the video that Tim Pool was commenting on. So Tim Pool is commenting on the video. I'm appealing to the video that we all saw of the officer being pushed.
Martae, answer this. How do you determine the wheels are spinning out if it's a still frame? How do you determine?
It was a video, not a still frame. It was literally an actual video, not a still frame.
You know why he had to stop the video? Because it would have showed Nicole Good stopping her vehicle, literally braking before she touched the officer because the officer stopped in her way. She thought he was going to keep moving.
Okay, I have a question for both of you.
Hold on, I didn't get this. Martae, you got the time.
No, I answered your question. Allow a good faith spirited back and forth. Now I have a question and I'll answer yours real quick. So when we saw the officer's feet sliding, well, hold on. When we saw the officer's feet sliding, what compelling force was pushing him?
Okay, yes, the car. Martae, now
he got hit. Okay, he was hit. Okay, answer your question.
Wait, let me address your initial, because when you said you were going to address me and Manar, you gave two, defenses or whatever, and I didn't actually get to address what you said.
Go ahead.
You kind of conceded the whole debate here already because you said the threat was eliminated after he got hit with the car. But here's the thing, and you know this, right? Because yes, you did. You didn't say that. Let's run it back.
What I'm saying. Let me clear this up. I'll tell you actually what I said.
So this is what I actually said. Did you not say that? Did you say that or did you not say that, bro?
But no, yours was the inverse. You said that he shouldn't have eliminated the threat because she was already past him. But the reason why she was past him is because the vehicle pushed him and hit him out of the way. That's why you can say that. But after after the officer got assaulted, of course she's no longer a threat because she was already the threat that caused him internal bleeding anyways.
Okay, yeah. So Martae, here's the problem. So you acknowledge.
Okay.
You acknowledge. Yeah, here's the problem, Martae. Here's why you lost the debate. You acknowledge that he was hit and the shooting occurred after he was hit, after he was already out of the
vehicle. The shooting was before he got hit because if you look at the trajectory, it's through the front window, not the side.
No, it's through the side of the front. It's through the side of the front.
No, it's not. There is no such thing as a side of the front.
It's on the very edge.
And then there's the side windows.
Martae, I've seen the video where people actually plant and circle his feet. And you can see where the first shot is made because the actual glass explodes, right? You can see the shattering of the glass. His feet are to the side of the vehicle when the first shot is fired. That's a fact, bro.
Hold on. Where did the bullet enter the vehicle?
So it's on the windshield.
So what are you saying?
Which windshield was hit?
The front windshield, bro.
The front. Okay, the front, not the side. The front. Okay, go ahead. Let me hear the rest.
Yeah, because you know his arm was outstretched, right? It's
in
not
the
like
front windshield, right? It's in the front, right?
Yeah, to the almost to the driver's side. There's only maybe 2 inches of
the driver. You're going to aim at the driver. It's going to hit the driver's side.
I just want to finish this and I'll pass it to Manar. But here's the problem, Martae. You said, the threat was already done because she already hit the officer with the vehicle. But you know, with the use of force continuum, once the threat is gone, he has to de-escalate his level of force. He can't fire because he got hit with the vehicle. He's like, well, you already hit me, so now I'm gonna, shoot you. Just as if somebody was shooting at an officer and the person drops the gun, the officer is supposed to de-escalate the level of force. He can't just continue to fire and say, well, he shot at me, so I can keep shooting at him. And that's why
That's not how fight for life happen. I've been in a fight for life previous times in law enforcement, and when things happen, you're not going to say we're only going to shoot once or twice and then de-escalate. There's no de-escalation because she's behind the wheel and she's still grabbing and the vehicle still has momentum. That means the threat hasn't been established to be ended. So, and then I not only said not to destroy the person, I didn't say that it's not the threat.
What you said. So there was still a threat, is what you're saying.
No, we always have to act as if the person is still a threat. That's why when you see officers shoot people, there will be like 6 or 7 shots because you never know in the split-second decision, people could still reach for their sidearm. People could still roll a vehicle into a wall. We want to eliminate the control of the vehicle from the passenger, whether or not it's to do this. It's to stop the threat always.
Well, Martae, so I just want to point out the contradiction. First, you said, the threat was gone because after the cop got hit. Now you're saying she still posed a threat. But here's the thing. If that's the case, and if you're talking about eliminating the threat, Manar pointed out the fact that she looked behind her when she was reversing, and that shows a level of clairvoyancy in operating the vehicle. Once the cop disabled her, the vehicle was uncontrollable and it took off in an unpredictable, uncontrolled path. So the cop actually created a threat. Should the cop therefore have been eliminated before he was able to create
also
that?
In the Alex Preddy case, he shot into the
Let's deal with one at a time. Can we do one at a time? Because we're still on Renee Good.
I'm just saying there's a point there. You have to answer for both of those.
No, the next point. That's this point. Let's stay on one point at a time. I'll address that. So when she looked behind her, we can't assume the mind of her where she was going. So here's the thing that contradicts everything since you say I have a contradiction. Now you have a paradox.
Well, what does it have to do with
Let me address this.
That shows the level of operation of the vehicle. I didn't say
no. I'm talking about the level of operation of the suspect that was detained. Here's the thing that we're overlooking. You're negating the fact that she was detained the whole time. She was told not to operate the vehicle, not to go anywhere. She was resisting of arrest basically by not going out of the vehicle, actually refusing to cooperate with law enforcement at the time. They had actually conferred back and forth and said, hey, I need you to get out of the vehicle. She wouldn't get out of the vehicle. I need you to stop the ignition. She wouldn't do this. She was refusing direct orders the whole time. So when she did back up, did anybody give her permission to leave the scene or to refuse direct orders?
So she's fleeing the scene. You don't have a right to shoot a fleeing.
Hold on. No, hold on. Can you address this question?
No, Manar's right. Manar's right, but this is a redirection though, because the point of me.
You answer the question. Was she refusing direct orders?
I will answer that. I just want the audience to see Martae is pulling a redirection here. Yep. I pointed out the fact that she looked behind her to show that she was in control of the vehicle and showing a level of operation of the vehicle that is better than if the vehicle was uncontrolled by the driver being
There's
dead.
a level of operation if I aim a gun at you, showing if I turn my head and I'm holding a gun at somebody and they're aimed at the field of direction of the bullet, the trajectory, I can still show a trajectory of showing I'm in control of this gun and still kill you at the same time. That doesn't refute the whole argument. She's in control of the 3,000-pound weapon during the whole vehicle. So what? What does that mean?
Yeah, the problem is you're not thinking about it logically, Martae. So she turns around and looks behind her.
Please.
Well, so here's the thing. If she turns around and looks behind her, she's looking for any possible obstructions that she may hit by accident, right? So she's being a careful driver.
How do you know? You're assuming that.
Yes,
that's an assumption. You don't know.
Why would she look behind her? That's
hold on. The reason why is because if we're going to hit an officer, we want to make sure we don't fuck up our vehicle, right? How do you know that's not the case? You're making an assumptive claim, knowing her mind. Absent any of this, we don't know that. That's an assumption.
Has a full-time job. We don't believe she like you, where you watch movies. She's a terrorist, domestic.
You're saying she has a full-time job?
She has kids. She's going to take care of business.
No, she drove all the way from Missouri to Michigan to do this, to obstruct justice. What are you talking about?
She has the right to protest as an American. You don't sit there.
No, hold on. You have a right to protest. Hold on, Manar, let me address this. You have a right to protest, but these aren't protesters. They are obstructionists. Can we agree on that?
No, they're protesting. This is their right.
They are obstructionists. That's what they are.
What do you mean by that? So January 6th was obstruction or protest? What was it?
January 6th is a whole nother thing. Can we stick to this topic? Right now, she was obstructing.
I just don't understand. It's the same exact scenario. They did obstruction there. Why are these not obstructionists, but these are rioters and obstructionists?
That's a whole different case. Can we stick to this?
I'm showcasing that you're a hypocrite.
Hold on, Martae, if you don't want to answer his
question. Jan 6 in this debate. What are you talking about? Can we stick to this debate?
He's using an analogy. Menard's using an analogy to prove a point. You tried using one too, where you're like, "Well,
that's
the gun and then somebody looks at you sideways."
That's a false equivalent.
Yes, it's you trying to say that the Americans had the right to protest and obstruction, and here you're saying no. Americans don't have the right to protest and obstruction.
This is the reason why it's a false equivalent. I can demonstrate why it's a false equivalent. Where the Jan 6 protesters being given direct orders at the time and not to move.
To leave. Yes, do not go into the Capitol. Yes, they're telling you get out. The officers.
No. Hold on. Were they not being in the process of a fact-finding arrest or investigation?
Every single one that went into the Capitol went into jail. They were
they weren't in the process of being under a fact-finding investigation at the time. They were actually refusing direct orders at the time, but it's a whole different scenario.
Why did they go to jail for obstruction of governmental official work and orders?
That proves my case. That proves the case that they were obstructing.
Exactly. So when you claim that January 6ers were actually protesters, not obstructionists, you were wrong. They were obstructionists.
I never said that they're protesters.
They were maniacal rioters.
I never said they're protesters.
Destroyed and obstructed in official federal business. Yes, that's how you destroyed yourself.
Manar, did I call them protesters?
No, yes, you didn't defend January 6 protesters. You did not defend the January 6 rioters as doing their American rights, having their American right to do so.
That's actually destroying your whole argument when you're comparing the two. That's actually a false equivalent. The reason why is because she was a singular person refusing direct orders under command of, I would say, HSI at the time, telling them to cooperate with them. She wouldn't cooperate at the time. We had actually more resources on scene. Whereas as far as January 6th, we had a numerous amount of people who were just disobeying orders at the same time. They're two different distinct circumstances. One was charged, which proves my case of saying what happens when you obstruct justice. Bad things can happen. Did a person die on that day too because they refused direct orders and were trying to charge a police officer?
Yes.
Then how come you guys are arguing why she shouldn't have been shot?
Yes, because we are claiming they had the right to do so. Now you're saying we don't have the right to do so.
Right, they had the right to do so. So how is that any different from mine? You're making my case for me.
If a police officer believes that Nicole Good does not have the right to protest, then she has no right to protest, according to you. Now, she's an obstructionist that deserves to be murdered because she's resisting arrest. That's according to you. Or she's putting the life of
Manar, when did I say that she doesn't have the right to protest?
The analogy.
Manar, when did I say she doesn't have the right to protest? Because you're putting words in my mouth.
You said she's an obstructionist. What does that mean? That means whenever she showed up from Minnesota, wherever she came from, she didn't come to protest and do her American rights. She came to destroy federal work orders.
Correct. Is a protester the same as an obstructionist?
So that means every January 6er, according to your arguments, an obstructionist that was actually deserving of death at that time because he was creating imminent danger and obstructing.
Manar, is a protester the same as an obstructionist?
They're not mutually exclusive.
Right, they're not mutually exclusive. Two different things, right?
That if you want to argue from this position,
thank you for making my argument, Mr. Well. So they're two distinctly different things, right?
Martae, you're taking us down a rabbit hole, bro. You're taking us down a rabbit hole, Martae.
Because semantics matter, and we have to talk about the particulars of this case before we move forward.
Martae, so let's rewind back here. The fact that she looked behind her, right? That
doesn't mean anything. She doesn't want to hit her car in anything. In the
even if she doesn't want, so exactly, that's my point. She's practicing safe driving, right? She's being observant, making sure there's nothing behind her.
So the reason why most Americans, we carry insurance, right? If you carry insurance, you don't want to fuck up your vehicle, right? But hitting a person, you're going to think probably isn't going to do much damage. So if she's refusing orders and she's already not complying by putting her hands in, not on the ignition switch or anything like that, she's already disobeying orders. Why would I then believe that she doesn't want to preserve anything but her car at the time?
So here's the thing, Martae. I would say if
Wait,
she
can
looks
you answer the question before we move forward? Can you answer the question, please, in good faith?
Because you didn't see a gun, you didn't see any imminent danger, you didn't see a threat
Well,
except the
that's the
vehicle.
question.
Car is a
That's
3,000 pound weapon. Can you answer the question?
Yeah, the vehicle's the only danger.
Hold on, Manar. Let Work answer.
Yeah, ask the question again.
Okay, so the car is a 3,000 pound weapon. There was imminent danger, according to the officer. He suffered internal bleeding, which means that the car was used as a weapon. We can see examples of this being weaponized. The officer was hit and pushed on the video where he saw his feet sliding. How was the car not an imminent threat at the time, according to him?
That's a whole different question than what you just asked me, bro.
Cool.
So
Can you answer that though, anyways?
I was like, how obscene is that, bro? You just asked me a completely different question. I was trying to...
Yeah, well, I'm allowed to adjust and formulate my questions because now I'm dealing with you. Can you answer the question though?
Okay, bro. But I was trying to piece together what you were saying before. So, can you a brief question, bro? Can you make it kind of summarize it for me? And go ahead, I'll answer it, bro.
Okay, at the time, the officer had believed that this was a threat, and it was demonstrated that the fact that the vehicle hit him, which proves that it was a 3,000 pound weapon, and him suffering internal injuries, he was hit nonetheless. You had already conceded the fact that if I spit on an officer, which doesn't cause any physical damage, I can then charge somebody with assault for doing that. There was evidence that he was hit and suffered injuries from this, proving that the car was weaponized against him. How did he not perceive this as a threat at the time if we could demonstrate that the car did cause injury to him?
So, okay, I can answer that question. But first, I want everybody to observe something here, right? So when Martae adds these additional facts that are, we don't even know to be true, internal bleeding, a bruise is technically internal bleeding. But you see how he basically tries to frame it in a way to make you think that this guy suffered a severe injury. But Martae just wants to know if the vehicle was ever a threat to the police officer. Yeah, at one point it was. Now, here's the question, though. Here's the question. Because Martae also conceded initially that, yeah, the vehicle is no longer a threat after the police officer got hit. That's what Martae said previously. Well, yeah. She got shot after the police officer got hit because his legs were no longer in the front of the vehicle. And I've seen the still frames of where people circled his feet, and it was to the side of the vehicle when the first shot got fired. So here's the question that Martae doesn't want to answer. When it comes to the use of force continuum, as soon as the cop is no longer in the front of her vehicle, the vehicle no longer poses a threat. The cop's supposed to de-escalate his use of force. He no longer has the means to go lethal. On top of that, him going lethal pose a threat to the community because now the vehicle is uncontrolled. We saw earlier the lady looked behind her to make sure she wasn't going to hit anything with the vehicle. She was demonstrating a level of driving or operating the vehicle in a safe manner. Once she's disabled, the vehicle is going wherever it's going to go. But here's something else, actually, because you know what? I said I was going to ask Martae
Can we
question.
do one point at a time because you're going on to your second point?
I know, yeah, I take it back. I'm not asking you a question here, Martae. I'm just going to throw these statements here, okay? So another.
Can we do one point at a time, though, seriously? Because you're going to go on different. You're going to interject different points.
Okay, brother, I agree. We could do one point at a time, but then you can't.
So let me tangle with this real quick.
Can you promise me that, Martae? We can do 1 point at a. I'm okay doing 1 point at a time, but let's not change it to different points. Can we do that?
But hold on, there's a lot of nuance and context in these debates sometimes that can happen. You can correct me if I move on to something hopefully indirect of what we're talking about. But right now I'm going to stay on topic. So when you say that the vehicle is still a threat, we've previously seen 2 demonstrations, and this is the reason why I purposely included this in video, of cars, once the driver is shot, where one driver was still alive and they were still in control of the vehicle, they happened to hit another vehicle. The other one, they still hit another vehicle. What happened in the Renee shooting was she hit another vehicle. In none of these circumstances was the car a threat. Matter of fact, the car actually de-escalates after the driver is shot and the threat is stopped. So this is in all 100% of these cases in law enforcement, we are trained to, if the vehicle's headed your direction, to shoot the person. Here's the thing though.
No, that's false. That's false.
Hold on real quick. in the line of duty, if we're taught to not shoot the person, what are we going to do? Be a speed bump and say, shit, you know what? I'll be Steve Rogers and take the bullet so that way nobody else gets hurt because at least I'll slow the vehicle down. Nobody trains officers to do this. That's superhero Marvel movie shit. That none of that functions in reality when we look at the certification and us having to requalify as officers. That never happens. We shoot the threat and we try to save lives by disengaging the driver from the wheel. The best way to do that is to eliminate and stop the operator of the vehicle, regardless.
But it's also police trainings actually don't tell people to shoot the driver. They tell you to get out the way first, and if you can't get out the way,
that's not true. That's not
Yes,
true.
it is.
If the vehicle is coming at you and it's an imminent threat, we stop the driver.
No, according to the Justice Manual 1-16.200.
No, actually, that's wrong. I can debunk that.
On a vehicle that is the only thing that is the imminent danger. If the vehicle is the only imminent danger and a violent object, and you have ample time to get out of the way, you cannot justifiably shoot. No.
Okay, great, Manar. Stay right there. Did the officer have ample time if he got hit and had internal bleeding?
Yes, he stopped moving to pull his gun. Yes, in your own video. Play it again.
Hold on.
Play your own video again, please.
So hold on real quick.
Let's say bruising because he didn't have internal bleeding.
Right, he didn't have time because he got hit.
No,
how much time do you have if you
he
get
had
hit?
time to pull the gun, but he didn't have time to get out of the way.
So during the video, she revved the vehicle in back of her, then he pulled the gun out.
He went backwards.
Because he knew the vehicle was in motion. Hold on real quick.
Hold on real quick. 3 seconds for the vehicle to accelerate for. He had ample time to
hold on. He pulled the gun.
He stopped moving in order for him to stay in the vehicle's way to showcase that it's still a danger for him. And no other officer believed there was reasonable threat, that no other officer pulled the gun. And even the officer that
was in danger.
Can I finish? The officer that was holding onto the handle didn't even believe he was ample imminent danger to pull because he knew that she was fleeing. She was trying to run away, but the officer stood in front of the vehicle, kept walking out, then the last second stopped moving in order to stay in her line, and then knew he was safe enough to pull the gun and shoot her. There's absolutely ample time for him to get out of the way. No other officer believed there was imminent threat of danger, and they knew that the vehicle was the only danger. They knew she was trying to get away. No other officer pulled their weapon.
I have a question.
He stood in front of her and waited for her after she backed up, and he had ample time to get out of the way. This was against the policy of the use of force.
I have a question. Not only is it not against the policy, but let's say in a hypothetical where he had died from these injuries of getting hit.
You have to get out of the way.
Hold on, I let you talk, Manar.
It's in the book.
Manar, I let you talk. Manar, I probably know the policy 10 times better than you, but let me talk real quick and respond to this.
He didn't stop to pull his gun? I'm just asking you.
Manar.
Did he not stop to pull his gun? I'm just asking.
I'm just going to be quiet until you're finished, Manar.
Okay, I just answered this question, then you can do whatever you want. Did he stop moving in order to pull the gun before he was shot?
That's two questions you're asking. Can I address the first one before we get to the second one?
No, address this going backwards. Just like a card game, you go backwards with the effects that were applied. So, like I said, I applied this effect later.
So hold on, Manar. No, I'm going to address the first thing first.
Did he stop moving?
Manar, let's have some decorum here.
So he's going to obfuscate before he answers to this.
No, this is your first question. I have to address
whatever question you think you want to answer, whatever. I'm asking you a question I want you to answer. I don't know what you're going to answer.
So the Uno reverse, bro. You got to go.
No. Manar, let me address this real quick. So in another scenario, in another dimension, let's say the officer had died from these internal injuries that he had succumbed to.
What the fuck is this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, in another scenario, Kuhl has a six-pack.
All right, Manar, hold on.
Manar.
Kuhl is actually funny. Yeah, I don't know what you wanted me to say.
Do you need some bacon right now, Manar? Let's continue. Anyways, a nice BLT will shut you the fuck up.
Does that mean it's going to happen? Never.
Manar, let me continue. Can I at least ask a question? All right, let me entertain this real quick. So in another situation, if the officer died from his injuries, would you then be saying he didn't have enough time if these injuries had killed him instead of maimed him?
Go on your Star Trek voyage, man. Go ahead.
You know there's a definition of maim, right? And you didn't use the word correctly, bro.
Hold on. Can you answer the question even though I'm using this word incorrectly according to you? Can you still answer the question?
Ooh, decapitate. Ooh.
Yeah, you didn't get maimed, bro.
Internal bleeding, and let's just use internal bleeding because that was the specificity of the words that were used. Because let's say it wasn't just internal bleeding that he suffered and he died from these injuries, would you then say he didn't have enough time to get out of the way?
Martae, you said semantics were important, bro. If you're going to use maimed and the officer wasn't maimed,
Okay, we'll switch it. Internal bleeding. That's the distinct language that
he
they
had
use.
ample time, not because he's bruised. I'm saying he had ample time because he stopped moving to pull his gun when he had 2 extra seconds to keep going. And
So hold on.
showcasing that
You're
she
saying
was
you
out
have
of the
2
way.
seconds.
You cannot shoot a fleeing vehicle, and if the vehicle is the only violent
It's
thing,
not
you
fleeing,
have to
it's
get out of its
approaching.
way. You can't just shoot into it.
The vehicle's not fleeing; it's approaching. Can we change the semantics are important?
Yes,
The vehicle is approaching, not fleeing him.
Do you have any evidence that she was approaching him out of threatful? Wait, show me your evidence.
We don't need to. We don't need to
So
because
you have
the
no
vehicle
evidence.
turned
Well,
in
my
his
evidence
direction.
showcases she was running. My evidence showcases she was fleeing.
Towards him, yes. The trajectory of the wheels were pointed toward him.
What? She's fleeing.
So what? The wheels were pointed toward him. So what?
To get
That's
out of the
crazy.
vehicle. If the vehicle's the only damage, she's not a felon. He cannot shoot into her to stop her fleeing. He can't.
Yeah,
Wait,
Manar.
that goes against what you were saying. Officers can't shoot to stop the person operating a vehicle that's headed towards them. Yes, that's an imminent threat.
Because he
right?
had enough time to get out of the way, and it was the only
If
damage.
he, hold on. If he had enough time to get out of the way, how come he was still hit and suffered internal bleeding?
Because he stopped moving. I keep.
Play
Play your video. Q, can you play a video? Can you do anything, Q? Can you play the video?
I could play the
Can you
video.
play the video? I want to
it,
showcase how in the no, not Alex Preddy, Nicole, where the last second he stopped moving to pull the gun, and then his legs went off from the floor. Go look at that. So he had time to keep moving.
Can Martae restate his statement because he lost the debate? Can you restate what you just said? If he didn't get hit, what did you say, Martae?
Slowly, play it slowly.
All right, do you guys want to watch? Okay.
Yeah.
The vehicle did not aim at him. In fact, the officer stepped in front of the vehicle, and they've asked, why did he step in front of the vehicle? However, people on the right have argued the vehicle reverses and lines up with him. Actually, I think it's fair to say both are occurring. The DHS officer is standing to the front right side of the vehicle, and he takes a step to his left as the vehicle reverses. The pan of the camera makes both look a bit more exaggerated, but from the new angle we've seen from CNN, he's not in front of the vehicle, but he is taking a step to his right as the vehicle is reversing and turning to its right, creating this lineup. Now, here's where I see the most important part. As we move forward, we can see, watch the wheels tilted to the left, not to the right, and you can then see the wheel spin out. See the wheel spinning out? Yes. That is acceleration into the officer. However, due to what appears to be ice on the ground, I can only assume, it spins and doesn't gain traction. There's two assumptions. Due to ice being on the ground, it spun out and she released the accelerator, or the ECS system, the electronic stability control, stops the wheel from spinning the moment it spins out. So this is something we've had for 20 plus years.
Stop moving?
After the wheel, which is aimed at him, spins out, which means he heard the engine go boom, he then pulls his gun. The vehicle right now, you can see the wheel is beginning to tilt, is still going forward.
She's fleeing.
He then points the gun at her and steps to his right.
She still hasn't turned.
And now she's turning. Right? This is the point. The gun is aimed at her. The vehicle begins.
We just want to showcase that he stopped moving. He stops moving to pull his gun.
People, hold on.
Can to her that he's got the gun in front of her face, and then he moves again afterwards.
Yeah, people freeze oftentimes when they're in a life or death situation. Now, I want to combat something that Mr. Work had said before. He said
danger. If he can just cut one more step out of the
way,
he put himself in the imminent danger on purpose because he has a power trip. He wanted to shoot the gun. That's literally what I'm seeing.
Martae, right there. Hold on.
You can't demonstrate that an officer's having a power trip. You need to be able to establish motive.
Bitch, start calling her names.
Motive is the hardest thing to prove, and you can't prove that. Matter of fact, Mr. Work, can I address you on something right now that you said?
So when you said that she he knew he did something wrong.
Hold on. One thing at a time. She looked behind her, right? So I'll ask you a question, Mr. Worker, real quick. Do people use blinkers in high-speed chases running from police?
Okay, here's the thing. Vic,
can you put that? Can you answer that? Do people use blinkers in high-speed chases?
I just want to make a point after. Vic, can you put that still frame back up? Because I wanted to.
You're not going to answer the question?
I will not. I will.
All right, well, answer the question first, and then I'll put it up on stage.
Okay, so do people use their blinkers in high-speed chase? It's possible that they do, yeah.
No, we've seen evidence. They do this all the time. Matter of fact, in the OJ case, when he was being chased by somebody and he thought that a law enforcement was an imminent threat, he still uses blinkers, still looked behind him and did all these things in lieu of possibly hitting pedestrians too. So that is a null and void point that you just made. Let's continue.
But Marta, for reckless driving, reckless driving is written in a way to where You have to use kind of a totality of different evidences to point out the fact that the driver
the
is
other
wrong.
vehicles have
Yeah,
to...
like refusing direct orders, showing up, and obstructing justice. Yes, of course.
Here's what I'm saying, Martae. So if somebody's in a high-speed chase and they're using their blinker, you couldn't charge them with reckless driving because they are taking into account.
No, wait, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about reckless driving. I'm saying when they're panicking around officers, they still know how to operate a vehicle really well, just like they do in normal life when they're not operating under duress, right?
But here's the thing, Martae, because you say you have law enforcement experience.
Can you answer that though, real quick, before we move forward? Because you're acting like I never asked you a question.
I answer your questions, and you never answer my questions. So what are we doing?
No, I'll answer that. But when people are under duress, they're still going to operate a vehicle under safe measures that they normally do, anyways, right? It's almost reflected like a reflex, right?
Yeah, that can happen. I agree.
Okay, great. Let's move forward.
So yes, let's move forward. I have two questions. The first one, kind of just recapping this current discussion. You acknowledge that speed in itself doesn't constitute reckless driving, right?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So in this picture here, you can see his hand, and that's the hand he has the gun in, right?
We can't see the other officer in front because he's blocked by the officer at the side.
No, but you can see the officer's hand, the one with the gun. You see how he's
not yet. We can't see that because he's being blocked by the other party.
No, I can see it. You can clearly see his hand.
What?
He's talking about this right here?
Being blocked by the other person.
Yeah, right there. It's right in front of the face of the other guy.
Yeah, his hand's like, if you look at the guy. Yeah, but you see how his hand it's still in quote unquote in front of the vehicle, but the officer is not in front of the vehicle. You see how his hand is visible?
Hold on. When she reversed you see where the wheels are pointed toward the officer, he then drew his gun because he didn't know the trajectory of where the vehicle's going because the wheels are aimed at him, right?
Okay,
the wheels are aimed in his direction, right?
I'm talking about the still frame.
Yes, this still frame. Are the wheels aimed at the officer?
Here, has the shot been fired yet? No, right?
Are the wheels aimed at the officer though?
I can't tell, but here's something I could
tell that his hand is out with the gun, but you can't tell where the wheels are aimed.
The wheels, well, because the guy's leg and it's kind of black, so they're kind of merging.
The wheels are pointed towards the officer. The officer's in this fatal funnel.
Well, no, the officer's to the side of the vehicle. He's not in front of the vehicle. No,
that's the officer blocking the officer in front of the vehicle.
No, because Martae, you can kind of see the one guy's leg to the left. It's kind of shadowing. The guy in front of him is kind of shadowing the leg, but you can kind of make out.
He's still in frame of the front of the vehicle, still, even if his body's partially in front.
Martae, look, here's my point. The guy is to the side of the vehicle. You can clearly see his hand is pointed at the driver, but he's not in front of the vehicle. His hand is pointing to the side, right? So he's pointing forward, but he's from the side of the vehicle. That's why if you actually look at the picture of the hole in the windshield, he's at the very edge of the windshield because he's not actually in front of the vehicle.
He's trying to get out of the way. There's 3 seconds that you have to act. We have to make a split-second decision. We're not going to be carried by 6 and judged by 1.
He stayed in front of the vehicle to showcase that there was a little bit of imminent danger, but stayed far enough to know that he's not.
Oh, yes, you're right. He stayed in front of the vehicle, right? So he aimed the vehicle wheels towards him. Yes.
Clear. He had ample time to get out of the vehicle's way. He stayed there in order to shoot, to justify the shooting.
No, you actually failed this because if he had ample time, he wouldn't have got hit.
Then why did he stop moving?
That's not true.
If he had ample time, he wouldn't have gotten hit.
That's not true.
If he didn't stop moving, he wouldn't have
Are you saying he intentionally wanted to get hit? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He put himself in a corner.
Wait, hold on. Now we're saying this. Manar,
because he knew she was fleeing. He didn't want to go after her because there's a fat fuck who wants to go and eat some donuts.
Manar, are you actually saying he wanted to get hit?
Yes, he wanted to showcase.
What? Wait, hold on. This is crazy. So I want to put myself in the line of life or death situation. For what reason?
That way you can justify the shooting. And here's how we can prove this, Martae. Was this the first? Martae, was this the first time you got?
This is important. Allow me to justify it. Exactly.
What? This is wild.
Allow me to do this. Allow me to do this, guys. Allow me to make the justification. Allow me to explain why this is important. It's important to showcase that this person had zero imminent danger at him except of the vehicle. He knew that the vehicle was trying to escape. He stood there in front of the vehicle knowing that according to the U.S. Department of Justice's policy 1-16.200, Section 2, he had the only way for him to reasonably believe that he had imminent danger is if the vehicle, there was another weapon in the vehicle, or
Oh damn! Yo,
Yes, I love
Wow.
that. Manar's internet is not pulling the donkey at the moment, so let's continue. So the vehicle was an imminent threat. It was a 3,000-pound
I don't know why I'm
weapon.
getting disconnected. I don't know. I haven't finished my point.
You're using
All right.
Iranian internet.
Okay.
Let's go to the U.S. and
Hold on,
use
guys. Let
internet.
Manar finish his point.
I'm using the U.S. Department of Justice Use of Policy Justice Manual 1-16.200 Section 2, which is claiming that you cannot shoot at a vehicle if it's the only thing that's threatening. There has to be another threatening thing, or you if you don't have ample time to get out of the way. So he had ample time in the video to get out of the way. The only way he can argue there was no ample time is because he was hit. But because we see that he stopped moving, we can tell that the reason he was hit wasn't because he didn't have ample time, was because he wanted to justify his shooting, which was unjustifiable because no other police officer believed there was reasonable.
Wait, hold on. This is a fallacious argument that you're making right now. You then contradict yourself. You said he had ample time to move out of the way, and then you then say he didn't have ample time, which is why he was hit. And then you say the reason why he wanted to get hit is to justify his shooting. Can you demonstrate that he wanted to get hit or kill himself?
The best way for me to demonstrate intent is through the actions. The actions were that he had ample time to get out of the way. He saw her backing up. He refused to get out of the way at the last second. Instead,
you just said he didn't have time.
His gun. Yes, I'm telling
you. Just said he didn't have time. That's why he got hit.
I said that he had enough time to go out of the way. Let me finish. He had enough time to get out of the way. And he stopped himself at the last second to pull the gun in order to put himself in imminent danger because there was no other justification for the shooting other than that. He can't just shoot her.
Hold on. Your argument.
He can just walk away. He's not going to be able to shoot her. So he had to stay in there, and he looked like he had a power trip because I could see in the video he stopped moving. And instead put the weapon in front of the girls, which made her react and kind of freak out. I guess that's why the skid marks happened. But it's so clear that the guy had ample time to get out of the way. He refused to. And I can read his intentions through his actions.
Hold on. You can read his motive through his actions. Yes, that's fallacious. Yes. That's not a demonstration of. Hold on, Manar. Manar, can I finish? Because I let you go on. So what you're saying is you're implying a motive and implying his intent just by him putting himself in a life or death situation does not show that he wanted to die to justify killing somebody else. That's nonsensical. You haven't demonstrated that or proved his motive yet. That doesn't make any sense.
I can prove the motive. I can prove it.
That he wanted to die.
Can you prove that he was going to die if he didn't shoot?
That's what you're saying. You're saying he's somehow in your mind, you're assuming his mind state, saying that he wanted to die to take out another life.
No, he knew she was fleeing. He knew she wasn't coming after him, so he didn't want to come after her. He just
Can you demonstrate that he knew this? Can you demonstrate that he knew this?
He shot her while she was fleeing, while she was backing up. She was doing zero damage to him. She didn't.
That doesn't demonstrate what was going on in his mind, Manar.
Martae, you're moving the goalpost, buddy. You're moving. Now you're saying that we had.
What Manar is doing. I'm following his goalpost. What he's moving is already. He's saying that he knows the intent of the person. He can't demonstrate that.
Bro, Manar stands on your head, bro. What are you talking about? Bro?
All right, tell him he stands on his head isn't demonstrating he's doing that. Can you do that for him? Because he's not helping out his own argument.
I can do that. So here's the problem, Martae. You're changing the goalposts and you're saying that can we prove that he wanted to die? No, obviously we can't prove that.
That's what Manar's saying. Manar's saying he wanted to die. That's your partner's argument.
No, Manar's not saying that.
That's what he's saying. He wanted to. I literally asked myself if he wanted to die. Manar said yes.
Yes,
Manar agreed to that. He did say that. So yes, he is agreeing to that.
Bro, I clearly understand what Manar's saying. Manar's saying that the guy.
No, I clarified for Manar. I said, Manar, you're saying he wanted to kill himself, and Manar said yes. So that contradicts anything you're saying right now.
That situation, yeah, he wanted to make a dangerous situation. Is what.
So Manar he wanted to kill himself, basically. And I asked him, I worded it this way.
Danger. He wanted to justify.
I worded it this way, and Manar actually agreed with this. So no, that's untrue.
He just clarified.
I didn't say he wanted to die.
Right?
Yeah, he wanted to die. You hear that? Manar said that.
He just said he didn't say that.
You did say that, Manar.
No.
I'm saying he wanted to put himself in the line of danger because that's the only justification he had for the shooting.
Okay, look, we'll even do that. He wanted to put himself in danger.
Let me finish. If he stepped one more foothold into the right, he would have not have been had the justification, because it would have been clear that she's fleeing. So instead of moving, he put himself in the line of the car, which was already dodging him.
So in 2 seconds. So in 2 seconds, do you think 2 seconds is enough time to get out of the way in a speeding vehicle?
Well, that's a good question, Mark.
At 2 feet away, 2 seconds is enough time.
In the video, she was backing up the whole time when he got to the part of the video where he shot her.
She's backing up and she turned the wheels toward him in his direction.
He shot her before she even started moving forward, almost. Like she couldn't even get to stop moving forward when he shot her. So what do you mean that there was
no, he prepared to shoot.
She hadn't even moved forward yet, almost.
He prepared to fire his firearm as soon as she backed up because he didn't know where she was going. And as soon as the wheels turned toward his direction, he was put in a fatal funnel situation. Would you believe that panic fire happens when people have a split-second decision to make? That's what he did. So when you say that the vehicle couldn't put it, hold on.
You're not
hold on. When you say that the vehicle didn't pose a threat,
you know, you're not even using the fatal funnel correctly. There was no obstruction.
That is correctly. I'm using that correctly because metaphorically speaking, when you put yourself in the direction of a bullet or the direction of an oncoming weapon towards you, there's a situation where you have space. We're talking about positioning when I talk about the fatal funnel. Was he not in the position to move out of the way or not?
Bro, but you just said fatal funnel. There's no obstruction to his right. You can argue that he can't clear his left.
He didn't have obstruction toward his right. He didn't have enough time to move. Therefore, he got hit. That demonstrates the fact that the vehicle's a weapon.
Okay. If he didn't have enough time to move, and that was one of his concerns, how come he was walking in the whole engagement? You never see him run.
Okay, we've already demonstrated that if you spit on an officer, it's still assault, right? If the vehicle taps him, is that assault?
So you're acknowledging that the guy never makes an attempt to run out the way? Like
hold on. No. The vehicle pushed him out of the way. What does that imply?
Martae, when he tries to clear the front of the vehicle to get to the other side, does he run?
So he tried to clear the vehicle. Hold on. Stick with that. You just said it. He made an attempt to clear the vehicle, right?
Yeah, that's he's moving over to where his partner is.
Okay, so he did try. That contradicts Manar's point of saying he didn't want to do this and put himself in harm's way. You guys just contradicted yourself.
No, it's not a contradiction because him attempting to clear to the side his partner's at puts him in the way of the vehicle.
Hold on, Manar saying that he purposely put himself in danger. That's not an attempt to clear himself.
He did.
He just contradicted you.
He put himself in danger by stopping.
This is wild. I need both of you guys to get your story straight because it contradicts itself. Manar at one point is saying that he put himself in harm's way on purpose to kill the threat, but then you're saying that he attempted to move out of the way, out of harm's way. Which one is it?
I never said that.
Hold on. Which one is it? Did he move out of the way to attempt to move out of the way, or attempt to put himself in the way to justify the killing?
Well, yeah,
bro, that's what we're talking about here.
Because Manar's saying one whole different thing, and you're saying the other something that contradicts him.
Well, let me explain and see if Workademics disagrees with me. Okay, what we are saying is that the officer had justification to understand that the threat only came from the vehicle. There was zero apparent danger from anywhere else from Nicole's side, and because of that, he had certain laws applied upon him because of the justice manual is enforcing certain use of deadly force laws. Because she's inside the moving vehicle, the vehicle is the only danger. So as long as he can get out of the path of the vehicle, there cannot be a justified reasonable belief of imminent danger anymore because there's zero proof of any other weapons and the danger is the vehicle only. Now, there is another part of the use of deadly force 1-16.200 that's explaining you cannot shoot into a fleeing non-felon. I don't know what that distinction is. I don't know if you can shoot into felons. But if there's no felony and the person is fleeing, he can evade it and you don't have the justification to shoot. So
no, that's a mischaracterization of the law.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Okay, if I'm wrong in anything, write it down and explain it to me.
I'll explain it to you.
What showcases in the video that no other officer believed that there is any reasonable suspicion of imminent danger. Even the one that was hanging on the door and being pulled by the car backwards and forwards, that guy never pulled his gun to try to stop Nicole Good, which if she was using the vehicle as a weapon, he's the one that's right in front of her. He has the easiest shot to her. So that person doesn't believe that he can stop the vehicle by shooting her. He recognizes there's no other weapons in hand, and he recognizes that she's fleeing. The only other cop that believed that there's a reasonable imminent danger is the one that's standing in front. For him to continue to have that belief, like Work was trying to argue about de-escalation, He needs to keep that imminent danger escalated. He cannot stop the escalation of the imminent danger, or he showcases that he was supposed to de-escalate. What happened was he started to get out of the way of the vehicle, which is, according to the procedure, the right thing to do. You cannot shoot into the vehicle that's coming at you if you have ample time to get out of the way. The only time you can shoot at a vehicle is if there's that doesn't have any other apparent weapons, is if you do not have ample time to get out of the way, which is why I'm arguing he stopped moving to complete the justification for his shooting. Other than that, there was zero justification. If he
How long are you going to go, Manar?
You literally have no argument, Martae. According to the use of deadly force 1-16.200, you have zero argument. If he stepped one more movement to the right, you would have had zero argument. Your only argument is that he completed and continued to believe that there was imminent danger. And
How long are we going to go
he
here?
did that on purpose because he stopped moving on purpose. There was nothing stopping him from movement, nothing obstructing his movement except his demonic intent
Bro,
of
you're
murdering
gish-galloping
this
still.
bitch. That he called a bitch in his own words after he murdered.
You're still gish galloping. Can I talk now?
Now, does Work disagree with me in
Here we
anything?
go. Here we
No,
go.
no.
Can I respond to what you're saying? instead
That's
of
it.
just Work
IFBB Pro, I
interjecting?
don't know what you've been trying to showcase.
Oh, there's
We
two
agree with
fallacies
one
that you
another.
made right now.
Argue against my points.
Okay, can I respond without you over talking?
You have
Because I
5
let
minutes.
you go.
I'm not going to say a word.
Okay, so you're wrong on two accounts. When you talk about that section code that you brought up, we don't need to assume that there's other weapons in the car when the car is a weapon. We've seen in 2 previous videos that I've shown that the officers fired into the car. We don't need to know that there's the reason why that statute exists is because if you're moving a vehicle into somebody's trajectory, we don't need to know that you have a RPG in the vehicle, a grenade launcher, or guns or anything like that. The car literally is the weapon. We don't need to say, hey, we need to just assume that there's a weapon in the dashboard or the glove box or anything like that before we can shoot. The question is the car a weapon in itself? Yes, we can agree on this because the officer was hit and struck with the car, suffering internal bleeding at the time. This is a report I can even bring up right now. So all of a sudden that's wrong too. So the next thing I'll bring up is Graham versus Connor.
That's not the question at hand. If the vehicle was a weapon, the question is at hand is if there's no other weapons except the vehicle.
You don't need a weapon in the vehicle to shoot
unless it's heading to your way. And that's why he stopped moving because that's the only.
No, you don't need a weapon in the vehicle to shoot the vehicle that is a weapon aimed at you. That's crazy.
There was no other threats from the driver except the vehicle. You can't shoot the vehicle.
So the vehicle was a threat. All there needs to be is one vehicle threat that to the officer.
Okay, let me read the section. Let me read the section, and then you disagree with the section. Firearms may not be discharged. This is 1-16.200, section 2. Firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless. So you can't discharge this to stop
unless
any moving
it's fleeing,
vehicles.
right?
Fleeing? And you can only. Let me finish. Let me just finish. Why are you gonna talk? I will explain everything afterwards. Just write it down.
Was the vehicle fleeing or heading into the officer?
Well, let me finish. Okay, you can't shoot a fleeing. It continues later on.
It wasn't fleeing. It was headed towards the officer.
Well, let me showcase that it wasn't. Let me finish. If he had ample time to get out of the way, according to this section, he had to get out of the way. So the only time firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless 1, a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another officer with deadly force by other means than the vehicle itself. So there needs to be something. Yes, that's in the use of deadly force code. Shut the fuck up.
If the vehicle is a threat,
bro, let me finish. Hey, shut him up, man. Let me finish. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Number two, that the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which includes moving out of the path of the vehicle. So if you can move out of the path of the vehicle,
he didn't have time.
It stops being an actual imminent danger to your life, and you have to get out of the way.
He didn't have time. He was hit. He didn't have time, and the vehicle is a weapon, so that negates everything you just said.
Yo, Vic, can I get 2 minutes? I'm appealing to the moderator here. Oh, actually,
okay.
Hold on, Manar. Huh?
Okay, go ahead, Work. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say, I almost combined your guys' name. I almost said, "Oh, you're back, Manar. You want to finish it, bro? You want to finish your point, bro?"
Yeah, he's drowning right now. Go ahead, Manar.
I don't know why my internet is trash, but yeah. So I mean,
you said it's trash.
You have no justification according to 1-16.200. 1-16.200, you cannot shoot at a moving vehicle unless the vehicle had another way that it's harming you. Maybe there's a gun inside of it, or you can't get out of its way. Both of these, the officer had ample time to get out of the way.
Hold on, he met 2 criteria. The two criteria were met. He didn't have time to get out of the vehicle because he was hit, and then the vehicle itself was causing harm to the officer because it hit him. So that negates your whole point. Next, Mr. Work, go ahead.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Martae, you keep saying that the officer didn't have time. If you actually track the officer's movement with like a vector, right, and you track his position at every point of his movement, you would see he's always moving towards the vehicle. On top of that, he never runs out the way. He never makes an effort.
He didn't have time to run.
Come on, bro. He didn't have time to run, but he had time to pull his gun out. You see how absurd that sounds?
When the vehicle was reversing, he pulled his gun out. He had time to defend himself, yes.
But here's the thing, Martae. I want to address the point.
We're not going to run from in law enforcement, they teach you not to run from the threat. You're going to engage. Otherwise, why do we have a firearm if we're taught to run from everything?
You can't shoot at somebody fleeing from you. You can't murder somebody running away from you.
Manar, you're wrong on this. Was the vehicle fleeing from him or heading his direction?
Yes, she backed up. She wasn't trying to attack him. She was showcasing evidence of fleeing.
Let me describe this real quick.
Which is why the officer that was held at the handle of the car did not shoot her. Because he knew she was fleeing.
It wasn't a threat, but he was engaging and preparing for the vehicle to be a threat. When the wheels were turned towards him, it then accelerated in his direction. Then it became a threat. Do we not agree on this?
IFBB, I don't agree that you can say that a singular officer thinking something is
hold
dangerous
on.
proves.
Wait, Work answered. Work did say. I believe Work did say he agreed on that.
I agree.
Okay.
The vehicle, as soon as she started going forward, was a threat. Here's the problem, Martae.
Yes.
At the beginning of this whole debate, you already acknowledged he fired when he was already out of the path of the vehicle. You said he fired after.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you said he fired. It wasn't a threat anymore because it
and then he got hit.
No, Martae, you said the vehicle wasn't a threat because he got hit already. That was your wording.
No, the vehicle wasn't a threat to him after he was injured and hit by the vehicle.
But the shots were fired after he was already out of the path of the vehicle. And we saw that in the video. You can see his arm is to the side, his feet are to the side.
Hold on. You just justified the shooting by saying that he was shooting before he got hit. And when he got hit, all those shots were justified. And could you believe that panic fire happens in stressful situations? Do you believe that this happens?
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying he fired when he was already out of the path of the vehicle.
He did?
And you even, he got hit first. Wait, let me just paint a quick picture, Martae. Here's what I think is more likely. He got hit with the car, which we all see that he did get hit with the car, right? And he says he has bruises. Okay. He has bruises on his leg. Okay. And then he says, oh, fucking bitch or something, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I know that's TOS. I'm not sure. But...
No, it's not TOS. We all curse when we get hit. If I almost die, I'm going to probably say the same thing.
So what would you say is more probable? That he shot after, like you said, after because he got hit with the car. He's like, oh, this bitch just hit me. Bang, 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 bang. Or he was like, oh my God, I'm in fear for my life. Let me try to cross what's the word? I can't even speak right now, bro. I'm trying to cross the plane of the vehicle to get to the other side, putting myself in danger. And then I'm so fearful that I have to fire at the lady, even though I never make an attempt to run out the way of the vehicle. Which one is more probable?
You're building a false binary saying that the only two things can happen, which is a false binary, and I can explain why. So what happened in the situation was, if you look at the line of trajectory where the bullet entered, if he was on the side of the vehicle and he was out of the way, why is the bullet entering the front windshield and not the side?
Well, we saw his hand in that video Victor showed. You can see his hand is coming from the side of the vehicle, not the front of the vehicle.
Then why is the bullet coming from entering from the front and not the side?
Yeah, so that's a good question. If you actually look at where the bullet goes through the vehicle, it's angled. So it's not, but it's not going straight into the front. It's angled to the side of the front because
hold on. It goes straight through the front at the driver. It hit its target. Where else was the bullet supposed to go besides the target? Where does the person sit in reference to where the location of the windshield is? To the left, right? That's where drivers sit. Where did the bullet enter? The driver's side, hitting her directly, right?
Martae, it entered the windshield at the front of the car, but on the very side of the front of the windshield. Martae,
is it not the side? If we talk about the front, that's the driver's side.
Okay. Martae, let me ask you a quick question. Is it possible to shoot into the windshield without standing in front of the windshield?
That would be hard to articulate the weapon that way. It'd be tough to do that.
Is it possible? Is it possible to shoot into a windshield without being in front of the car?
It's extremely improbable.
Oh my God, bro.
You can shoot into it all the way up to 150 degrees. All the way up to 150 degrees.
That's extremely improbable. No, the physics on that don't even make any sense.
All the way like this. All of these shots will hit it.
So when we're talking about possibility and probably, you've already agreed that the bullet went through the front of the windshield, the driver's side. So if a bullet's going to enter, hold on, if a bullet's going to hit the driver, where else would it hit the driver to justify just stopping a vehicle?
The second and third bullets came through the window because he had already turned. Like that's what he's arguing.
Right. You never even answered the question when I talked about the panic fire. So back to this: when the bullet had first entered the vehicle from the trajectory of the driver's side,
or are you not going to argue for that?
To stop the operation of a vehicle, where else was the bullet supposed to enter other than the driver's side hitting its target in the front windshield? Where else was it? Where else did it enter besides that? Because we could see that. That's physics.
Manar just told you it also entered through the driver's side window.
The second.
So no, the initial shot by the officer who was hit. We're talking about that. Let's get to that before we can move on to the next.
There's no other shots. Except
so now he just basically contradicted yourself. He's now saying there's no other shots.
I think
Manar just contradicted you. He said there's no other shots.
Bro, this guy's retarded. He doesn't know what I'm saying.
He's saying, yeah, Martae, you cause a lot of confusion because you try to.
Because he's contradicting you during this debate.
Rage or something. Calm down, bro.
We're all friends here. We're all friends, you know. Even though we're breaking kayfabe, right, for the audience, but we're all friends. Here's the thing, Martae. The officer, Manar was saying that the only one officer fired his weapon. That's the point Manar was saying. But going back to what you're saying,
no, that's not what he said.
That is what he said.
That's exactly.
You're adding in context that Manar never did. But yeah, I mean, I understand you're trying to help him out. He needs all the help he can get. But continue.
That's really what I was trying to say. That's crazy.
Oh, wait, the same guy that said cars can be decapitated. Go ahead. The same guy that said guns can also be decapitated. Go ahead.
Yeah, you stopped the guy holding the gun. That's decapitated.
Manar, how can you decapitate a car?
Isn't it really hard to understand figure of speech? Like you really can't understand.
There is no figure of speech that says that cars can be decapitated because cars don't really have a head.
All right. Well, Martae, here's your problem.
This is wild.
Here's how we can prove that the person put it. Here's how we can justify our whole scenario that we brought forth, which is the fact that this is officer-induced jeopardy. Is the fact that this is not the first time this guy got hit with a vehicle. He got hit.
Really, I had no idea.
Yeah, 6 months prior, he also got hit with a vehicle. So we know his modus operandi is to basically position himself.
That doesn't prove modus operandi. It just proves habit sometimes, but it doesn't prove modus.
It showcases he has experience in understanding how much damage he can get from a vehicle.
So here's the problem with this.
When I say he picked the right position to stop at, that showcases that he had experience of getting hit from these vehicles, and he knows exactly where to reduce the damage. Yeah.
No, this is a fallacious argument.
No, Manar made a good point, bro.
So hold on, this destroys your whole argument right now, and I'll tell you why.
Did this before.
So I've been on plenty of use of force meetings.
I never finished it, bro. I never finished my argument. So how can you destroy it, bro?
I've been on plenty of use of force boards and seen plenty of use of force boards. I've been involved in this because anytime we use of force, there's always a 601 or internal investigation that happens afterwards. So when the public has an outcry saying this needs to be investigated, trust me, it's investigated heavily interdepartmentally. So where our director basically is on a panel and you're like judge and jury and we're almost being felt like we're guilty, even though we're proven right.
The guy that was just fired?
So hold on. No, he's not fired. So here's the problem with that. The reason why we have 601 investigations is to prevent liability. Hold on real quick. The reason why we have internal investigations is to prevent liabilities from creating lawsuits that jeopardize the department thousands of dollars and puts out of funding.
Yeah, great point. The reason me and Work are talking about this is
hold on. I'm almost done.
Hold on, Manar.
Taking our civil rights away from us.
Martae's
we
almost
have
done.
to challenge them.
Martae's almost done.
I'm almost done. The reason why we have 601s in investigations internally is to eliminate liability. So if you're saying that this guy has a motive, Mr. Work saying that his modus operandi is putting himself in front of vehicles, costing the department thousands of dollars, making a liability. The department has decided that he's not, and that is not his modus operandi from doing this. He's been cleared of investigations of the past to do this in the beginning. Now, there is another internal investigation that happens. The investigation cleared him. So interdepartmentally, he's already been cleared. So the public court of opinion is the only opinion that you have right now because he's been cleared, showing that he defended his life and it's justified. How can you prove that to be wrong? Because right now I'm still waiting for justification.
All right, guys. Wait, that's not. Here we go. Wait, why is it on why is it on Manar? Okay, listen, guys. The hour is officially over. However, we spent most of it, if not all of it, on the Renee Good shooting. I'm willing to go a little bit longer if you guys want to go another half hour so you guys could get into the Alex Preddy shooting. We could do that, or we could end the debate. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, we can do another 20 minutes. It's fine. Do you guys want to do another 20?
Hold on. I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off Renee Good. Maybe we can do Alex Preddy on Manar's channel or something. But I think Renee Good.
I'm fine with it now. I'm fine with ending it now if you want to. That's fine.
Okay. Oh no, Renee Good. Hold on. I want to destroy Martae. I haven't finished the Renee Good.
You haven't destroyed it, so you're saying you want to destroy it. Thus, it hasn't been destroyed. You basically proved you.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You just contradicted yourself right now again, bro. Go ahead.
I want to add to the destruction of it.
Oh, you're adding to the destruction. Oh, I can't wait to hear this addition of destruction. Let's go.
So here's the thing, Martae. You and I both know that it's. If you were to ask officers how often they get involved in like actual shootings and stuff, it's somewhat of a rare occurrence. Not every officer gets involved in like a shooting. If you were to ask an officer how often they've been hit with a vehicle, that's also a rare occurrence. It's not like every officer is getting hit with a vehicle. But what are the chances that an officer gets hit with the vehicle 2 times within 6 months?
Okay, I'll address that right now. So the reason why is because during the Trump administration,
unless he directs his behavior, unless he directs his work in an unprofessional way.
Can I answer Mr. Work's question first?
Go ahead.
Because you guys are just going to try to shotgun right now.
Theory is that he is incapable or lacks training.
Manar, you said I can go ahead, and you're not letting me go ahead. So, Mr. Work, the odds are actually increased during the Trump administration during this rollout because I would say BPC wasn't enforced then, and ICE agents weren't having the support of their department beforehand. But now that we've had these localized militia of operating on Signal app groups following ICE agents around, those odds increase substantially, and we could see this through the chat logs of Signal and everything else. Matter of fact, Renee Good was following people around with her car and her vehicle, thus increasing the chances of officers getting hit substantially when she's parking in from spaces, not moving and causing an obstruction of justice.
To the justification of the case at hand. No.
Hold on, you're interrupted. You're not going to listen to my argument unless I state this uninterrupted. The chances increase if we have protesters now that are parking their vehicles. Matter of fact, Vic just showed this on his channel of people creating stop pathways where they're checking IDs and doing all this, creating more obstructions to daily citizens than anything else. The obstructions increase substantially when they're involving more vehicles than ever in this administration.
That actually works against your case. It showcases that the officers.
I'd love to hear this.
Let me finish. How? Holy shit! Calm down. Holy shit! It showcases that the officers were told and know that there's this particular behavior of these people trying to obstruct or trying to be in the way, and they should be vigilant of this instead of escalating and trying to attack these people and arrest them and put them in jail. They should be vigilant of this and try to work with these people instead.
They shouldn't try to arrest them and put them in jail.
Against you. It showcases that they knew
they
that
shouldn't.
This was going to happen,
you said they shouldn't arrest them and put them in jail.
Planning for this, plotting for this.
Wait, hold on, Manar. You said they instead of putting them in jail and arresting them, so they shouldn't arrest them and put them in jail if they're creating obstruction.
American citizens. Why would you put them in jail if they're not doing a crime?
No, obstruction of an investigation or justice is a crime. You realize that, right?
There was no obstruction. You can protest.
Wait, no, hold on. She was sitting in her vehicle obstructing pathways, and also Alex Preddy was waving cars through an investigation scene during the whole time. Those are all obstructions.
So he's obstructing because he's ample ways away, standing and just making his mind.
Waving vehicles through an investigation, a fact-finding investigation. Yes, that's obstruction.
So if you're standing next to an officer that's doing an investigation, and I say something, I'm obstructing him now?
If there's an active investigation and you're waving cars through,
and I say,
officers are not allowing this to happen. That's obstructing justice.
Look, he's got him. And I say, hey, look, guys, he's got him. Look how he's holding him. Is that obstruction?
If you're waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation with officers
hold on. Hey, guys, come.
Manar. If you're waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation, is that helping officers?
I'm asking, is that obstruction of the arrest? Am I a felon? Am I doing a crime?
It's obstruction of investigation, not necessarily an arrest. If an investigation, it's the same thing. It's still a crime. So answer my question because I answered yours now. Is Preddy waving cars through an active investigation helping officers?
So you're
not going to answer the question?
We know the state of mind of Preddy. He's an ICU.
Can you answer the question? We don't know the state of mind of Preddy. Can you answer the question?
Can I answer any of your questions without you interrupting me?
You're not answering the question. Answer the specific question I asked.
Let me finish answering.
Go ahead.
Alex Preddy, we know why he's actually doing, and we justified his state of mind. This is his experience as an ICU nurse. ICU nurse, one of the most difficult situations to be a nurse at. He sees he's extremely responsible of people's lives all the time. We understand his state of mind and why he thought he was responsible to help people's to come in safely and out safely, and to try to, at best as possible, keep everything intact. Absolutely. We understand why he was there. We understand that he was there to help people. We understand now we can justify why he actually was doing all of this because of his career choices.
So hold on.
Why the cops are the ones arresting him because they're.
Let me answer this. So when he was there, this still doesn't answer my question. I don't care about his career. I can be a life-saving firefighter. That doesn't explain.
But I'm telling you,
that doesn't answer the question.
He's there to help people
Manar,
because of the just.
Can you answer the question? That doesn't answer my question. When Alex Preddy was waving cars through,
there's no investigation. He's far away.
I guess I can't answer the question.
He's not obstructing anything. That's my answer.
Manar, answer the fucking question. So hold on. When Alex Preddy was there waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation, was that helping officers during the investigation?
You can whistle, you can blow, you can stand next to them. That's not obstruction.
No, that doesn't answer my question. Can you answer the specific question?
I'm not supposed to help you, you fucking federal agents. Who the fuck am I to help you? I'm
an ex-federal agent, but can you answer the question? That's not helping me. I'm trying to help you help yourself.
How am I supposed to help you?
If Alex Preddy is waving cars through a fact-finding investigation, is that to help the officers out?
It's to keep his community in check. This is his community. This
no,
is his
that
town.
doesn't answer the okay.
Federal officers that
this
showed up from
yes
out
or no.
state.
This is a yes or no
understand
answer.
The state of mind. This is what he does in his city. This is he's gone on these drives before. His job is to help
his job title. His job title is not a correlation of his state of mind. Manar,
community. It's clear. This is his number one state
of mind. Manar, like I said, his job title isn't a correlation to a state of mind.
He's not worried about the federal enforcers as long as they're not hurting his civilians, his citizens, his fellow neighbors. It's his city.
Mr. Word, can you answer the question because Manar can't? Is Alex Preddy waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation supposed to help the officers out?
How is that enough? How is that an obstruction of justice?
Information there to make an actual determination.
Because if he
hold on. Was Alex Preddy there to assist officers at the time, or was he basically a burden on officers?
Down and there's an arrest happening.
Which one was he?
To be honest, I didn't look into the Alex Preddy thing too much. So
I did. So when he showed up, he was an obstructionist. He wasn't there to help
because
officers
he was
at all.
waving the car down out of the 15, 20 feet out away from the cops.
Yeah, I think
he's waving cars through an active investigation. That's actually slowing and impeding progress.
There was no investigation. Nobody was getting arrested.
No. Do you need to arrest people to have an investigation?
You can't just stand up straight and say there's an investigation. You have to be doing an investigation.
Can you have an investigation without arrest, Manar?
You can't just exist and say I'm existing in my investigation. Anywhere I go, there's an investigation. You have to be investigating something.
You can. Anytime you can do this without an arrest. You can have an investigation without an arrest.
All the time are investigating anything they want.
Yeah, we can investigate anything we want to, mostly, yes. Yeah,
they can make consensual stops. But here's the thing, Martae.
Manar doesn't know the law or anything like that. But anyways, Mr. Ward, go ahead.
How is he obstructing any investigation? I'm not understanding
this. He's waving cars through.
All right, guys, listen.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we're gonna go do the closing right now. Let's do the closing.
Yeah,
we'll do the Q&A. And you know what? If we get like 3 more super chats, I'll open up the panel and we could continue this discussion there. How about that, guys?
All right,
yeah, we'll do that. I'm down for that. Let's do closing.
Guys.
All right. Okay.
Hey, cool. I'll end last. Matter of fact, I'll let them go first and be a gentleman here.
All right, let me get the clock ready.
You want me to go first?
Last since you went first. Don't we go last since you went first, Martae? We get last word.
No, I'll go last because I went first the last time. I'll switch it up.
Yeah, they go
that's
first.
Not how it works.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go first. Yeah.
You guys go first because you guys went second. So whichever one of you two want to start, I'll start the timer.
You want me to go work or?
Yeah, you can go, Manar. You got it, bro.
All right, thank you so much, Q, for allowing us to be here today. Me and work humiliated IFBB pro Martae Ruelas. I don't know about his older accolades. The HSI, Homeland Department of Intelligence and Justice, or whatever you want to. The investigator, the ex-cop. Now we understand why these cops are freaks. They're all injecting some kind of drugs. of some sort. I don't know what it is that they do in their police force career, and then afterwards you can see that the effects maintain. Oh no, sorry, this is all chicken and rice. I apologize. Anyway, so let's continue here. He's IFBB chicken and rice guy. So here's what happened today, guys. This guy came and claimed that there was 100% justification to murder the American citizen by this federal agent that came out of the city that doesn't exist in the city. He's an out-of-state federal agent that doesn't belong to this community. He's got a job to do. He's got to go and handle business somewhere else. Americans also have jobs to do, and they decide that they're and also have rights that they can, as long as they're following the law, that they are upholded and have. And this law enforcement constitutional civil cases this is not the first time that this has happened. We have a precedent of law enforcement destroying the Constitution, using unconstitutional behavior all the time. We have precedents of this. We have Supreme Court cases that went against many prominent arrests and disgusting behavior that we've seen for many cases. Case in point, very recently, the biggest one, Floyd Mayweather, or not Floyd, what's his name? Derek Chauvin, the guy that sat on George Floyd's neck and killed him. The cop believed that he was completely justified. Turns out that it was unconstitutional for him to have that knee. So this is an important thing, that you can't just have this random ex-police officer come and say, I've done investigations before, guys. I know what I'm doing. No, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer. You could be still wrong. We need to investigate this. This is against our we have a constitutional Bill of Rights. We have constitutional duties that you guys have to uphold. And we have to weigh if you guys are actually upholding these duties at the cost of our constitutional rights. And that's the number one thing that civil law lawyers work on. And so this is something that has a huge precedent. There's a business of this, that these cops use and abuse the laws and the Constitution against people. And today there's another case that we showcased me at Workademics. This federal agency using ICE, and God forbid the next one is going to be the anti-Semitic ASI, the ASI. The ASS investigation group. This is the federal force that will go against all anti-Semitic attacks and will absolutely stop any anti-Semitic behavior. Absolutely, next federal case, next federal law behavior is going to come. This is the next agency, guys. Anyways, so it was very important for us to discuss the actual constitutional agency that these people have and the ability for them to do what they need. That's why I went to the U.S. Department of Justice's Justice Manual. I looked into their use of deadly force manual, and I looked at their sections, and there's nothing in there that justified the shooting of Nicole Renee Good, except if that officer, and it's the only one, there's no other officer that believed their life was in reasonable imminent danger. Martae has to concede that. And that only officer that had the reasonable suspicion of his life being in imminent danger had ample time to get out of the way, which is according to the 1-16.200 use of deadly force and prohibited restraint techniques. Section 2, the firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or so it's in section 2. The whole actual section 2 is about firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles, and then they give certain rulings for it. The only time you're allowed to do that is a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle, which Nicole Renee Good did not have any guns or any other people on her that were threatening. And the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which also includes, what's the mean of defense? Includes moving out of the path of the vehicle, because the officer had ample time to get out of the path of the vehicle, and he's the only way the person that had the reasonable threat, showcasing that there was no imminent threat. Yeah, there's no imminent threat in Nicole Good's side. She was not threatening. Other officers understood that she was fleeing, which is why they did not pull their weapons. The only officer that tried to justify the shooting is the one that stayed did not move
Time's
out
up.
of the way, even though she was backing. There was evidence of her backing. He had ample time to get out of the way, which is according to his policy he has to do. Instead, he decided to stop moving in order to pull his gun, in order to scare her or try to stop her, which was against
time's
the
up,
policy.
Manar.
Showcases that
Time's
the federal
up.
agent is either ill-trained or he was going against the policy, which got him in that threatening position, which ended Renee's life, which is an absolute sham. And we got to attack this. We got to stop this from happening.
All right. Thank you very much, Manar. Work whenever you're ready. I'll begin.
I haven't even gotten to Alex Preddy, but okay, whatever.
How much time is it? Is it a 5 minute?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm ready. You can start it.
All
So
right,
I want to thank you for having me and Manar here. I think me and Manar clearly destroyed Martae and Vic, and it was a pleasure doing so.
I agree.
With that being said, I also want to say that this was kind of impromptu. I didn't have time to kind of gather some evidence that I would have loved to present. One was, I know this is not fair either to bring now, but one was a situation in which a cop was trying to, quote unquote, go fisticuffs with a person. And he says, oh, I'll put my belt away. We can just fight it out. And then his partner comes up and it creates a situation in which the cop wanted to fight a civilian because the guy was disrespecting him and did it as a civilian. But when his partner came, he was trying to tase the guy who went fisticuffs with him. His partner could have pulled his gun out and shot the guy, and it would have been justified because the cop's life is now in danger. And the cop is the one who put himself in that situation by telling the other guy to go hands-on and fisticuffs with him because he wanted to brawl with him. So it's one of those things when the government says that something's justified, we should always give it a second review because we never want to put ourselves in a situation to normalize a government being able to delete its citizens. With that being said, take Martae's conclusion here, or his whole synopsis here, into consideration. Martae said, well, the threat was over after the guy already got hit with the car. This is the second time the guy's got hit within 6 months. So it's one of those things, well, why does this guy keep getting hit with cars? It's not normal for police officers to get hit with cars. The reason it's happening is because he positions himself in a way to use his body as an obstacle to try to get the driver to not proceed or move forward. So he's creating an obstacle for the driver, and he's therefore creating a situation in which if the driver progresses, she's therefore now forfeiting her life because he's created a situation of lethal force to be justified. So this is something Martae is championing, and he's saying, yeah, you know, if you're in a car and the cop's in front of you, you pose a threat to the officer, he now has right to execute you. So, but think about it in a different situation. If a cop pulls you over and he's trying to write you a speeding ticket and he walks in front of your vehicle, you are now in control of a vehicle, and the cop can say, well, you know, my life is at danger now. He's operating a vehicle and I'm in the path of the vehicle. Therefore, I can just pull out my gun and execute this person. It's one of those things where it's a very gray and dangerous area. We should always, as citizens, you know, ask more of our government when it comes to protecting us. We've seen this with the Bundy Ranch where, and I brought this up on Grids before, where basically the Bundy Ranch was a whole bunch of people on the ranch pointing rifles at federal agents. And the federal agents would have been justified in mowing down the whole ranch. But it's called, you know what it's called? It's called restraint, and it's called judgment and discretion. Because yes, they had a right to kill everybody on Bundy Ranch because they were pointing rifles at them. But they didn't because it poses an optics nightmare. It poses a Waco situation. And just because you could do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. And that's the problem with the officer. Putting himself in the vehicle, in front of the vehicle, did he have quote unquote legal justification to execute the driver? You could say, well, yeah, he put himself in the vehicle. The driver, as soon as she started moving, he could have executed it. And Martae already said, well, yeah, he got hit after, or the threat was over after he got hit, and he actually fired after he got hit. You can see his arm in that still frame there is coming out to the right. His feet are to the right of you can see it in the vehicle. He's not in the path of the vehicle. There was no justification for lethal force. However, he still carried out lethal force. Martae's use of the fatal funnel was inaccurate, and that's not how the fatal funnel is typically used. It's typically to describe doorways or entries into buildings. Saying a fatal funnel in an open area makes no sense. Martae also said the cop was maimed by the vehicle. That's also definitely That's also factually untrue. The cop was not maimed by the vehicle. Internal bleeding typically involves blood flowing into a cavity. There's no cavity in your leg for blood to collect in. So what Martae is actually referring to is bruising, which is damaged capillary beds, which technically are bleeding internally, but it's bruising. On top of that, bro, we won, bro. I don't know what else to say. Like, should I keep going, or how much time?
Damn, bro, amazing. His argument's totally different than mine. Like his actual argument completely different than mine. Wow.
I want to thank Martae for giving me my first debate and my first win at the same time. Vic, hold on, I'll say that again because you interrupted me. I want to thank Martae for giving me my first debate and my first win at the same time. Thank you, Martae. Thank you, Vic, for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Martae.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you very much for your closing. So, Martae, when you're ready, I will begin.
Okay, I want to do this uninterrupted and unimpeded and obstructed. Like, I was talking about with Manar, especially if you can maybe mute him just for a second, but that's up to you. And if you can use this discretion that the officer is allowed to use, according to Mr. Work, we can talk about discretion all day long. It sets a bad precedent when officers can't make discretionary determinations upon when to use force with an imminent threat in front of them. You compare the Waco case to this. You can point a rifle at somebody and still not shoot. That's discretionary. We have to have that gray area, I would say, segue to where we can determine whether or not to use force or not. That's our own impotence to use action or inaction if we want to or not. If the officer had not shot, he still would have been justified not to shoot. If he did shoot, he would have been justified because he did get hit with the vehicle. Now, when you're talking about the word maimed, definitionally, maimed is wound or injured. So that could be a wound, right? A wound could be bruising, things like this. That is a wound. If you look at the definition of wound, this could be internal bleeding. So when you say, no, it's inaccurate, that it's not internal bleeding, that's literally what the Department of Justice came out with and said internal bleeding. So that could be a wound as well too, thus maimed. So definitionally, I'm correct on that. So, and then when Manar says things like, you can only shoot a vehicle according to the statute if it's fleeing from you. Well, the vehicle wasn't fleeing him. It was directionally, I would say, moved towards him because the wheels were then positioned towards him after it backed up. So also he's wrong on the law when we say this too. So when he says things and utters things like, well, he should have shot afterwards and shouldn't have shot afterwards and all this, like, I don't know what he's saying in this whole debate, but here's one thing I will say. When the officer was walking around, people tend to freeze up during the time and have panic fire. So when the officer was walking around the vehicle, it was to get fact-finding information, like recording the vehicle's license plate. I would say our department needs to get more information and intel. That's why they were walking around the vehicle to get more information. Now, when the vehicle did spin back in reverse and the guy froze, we happen to freeze and have a deer in headlights movement. This happens in immediate circumstances when we have imminent threats posed toward us. The vehicle was an imminent threat. So when these two are saying, well, he wasn't justified to shoot, even though he was hit, well, the fact that he was hit shows that the vehicle was a threat. Now, this could have been a worse situation. The officer could have died because I did show, and Vic actually had his jaw drop. I looked at this visually when he saw the officer fly in the other vehicle by being hit with the vehicle. He flew, and I was just like dumbstruck when I saw this too. That could have happened to the other officer if he didn't move. So when they say that he didn't have enough time, it's like, he got hit. That proves that he didn't have enough time to move out of the way, but also that justifies why he was able to have a clean shot. We didn't move on to the Alex Preddy case, which they would have been destroyed on this. Here's the problem with Mr. Work's analysis. When he does talk about this case and says that I did win this case and he got destroyed and all this, notice, chat, I want the chat to also look at this, how I'm not saying I won or lost on this, because this is a very subjective analysis that we're giving. This has already been proven that the officer was justified in his shoot by his own inter-department analysis, by them doing a fact-finding investigation on this. Otherwise, the officer would have been charged. He wasn't charged, which proves that he was justified and cleared of the shoot. So back to this, since we're doing this fact-finding thing, he's doing the same thing he's doing with this debate and saying, I'm going to use a 2020 analysis from the Waco case and everything else instead of the officer's perception on whether this was justified shoot. We need to look at this from the officer's perception and not the video, because if this was the case, Graham versus Con Connor, which happened in California, wouldn't have been a thing, which just proves his analysis of this case that happened. USC 811 would not 1111 would not be a thing if this wouldn't have happened. So here's the thing, though, Mr. Work, I know this is your first debate, but wait till the poll comes out and wait till the court of public opinion comes out with this finding and all this decision before you jump to conclusions, which you did during this whole debate. I'll wait for Mr. Vic to come up with the conclusion of the poll and says what the poll voted afterwards. But already the car's proven to be a weaponization against the officer because he had internal bleeding and did get hit. So to me, that's a justification already. And we need to look at this once again through the officer's perception and not through the video's perception, because in the court case, they'll say, well, the video shows this. Well, we have to get the justification of articulation of why he had to act in the case of his imminent threat and get his verdict, which was proved interdepartmentally. The officer wasn't fired and let go or put on unpaid leave. He was cleared, which proves my whole case anyways. But even in the court of public opinion, we're going to see after this debate and find out what the poll comes up with the analysis, since you said that you won this debate. But I conclude my time.
All right. Thank you very much, Martae. Thank you guys once again for doing this tonight, and thank you for being here. It was a pretty good debate. Hopefully everyone was entertained. Thank you guys very much. So now, without further ado, let's open up the Q&A. So let's begin. Let's see. All right. Postal Joe for $10. Martae proved his argument with the videos he played. Manar and Work just asserted things like intent, but no real argument based off of the facts. Thanks for the debate. Do any of you guys have anything to respond?
Yeah, I have something I want to add there. So, wait, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. So my thing is, it was kind of impromptu, so I didn't have any displays for myself. So, I am taking a handicap. I just want to throw that out there. On top of that, the polls fixed. Everybody knows Venezuela has bots that votes in these polls, so I'm not accepting of the actual outcome of the poll.
You hear that, Vic? You got bots in your chat all of a sudden.
Apparently I do. Venezuelan bots.
Yeah,
all right.
Didn't know that. Just to respond to Postal Joe, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you ugly old fat donut eating, pig eating man. I presented case from the U.S. Department of Justice Manual of Use of Deadly Force, and 1-16.200, where it showcases clearly you don't have an ability to stop a fleeing vehicle by shooting her, except in certain scenarios where you believe your life is in imminent danger. Because of this, I'm saying that there's no justification for the shooting. I'm showcasing how no other officer believed there was reasonable imminent danger. No other officer had this suspicion happening in front of them. No other officer pulled their weapon. The only officer that did is an officer that Workademics was able to show. He showcases the precedent of this person putting himself in the dangerous way to try to justify these difficult situations. Maybe the guy wanted to get easy money. I don't know. Maybe the guy heard that if he gets injured, and that he's going to go on medical leave for the rest of his life. I don't know why.
Okay, can I respond real quick?
I just don't understand why you wouldn't get out of the way and believe that shooting your weapon is going to be safer than walking one more step to the right. I just don't understand how this guy is going to justify that. This doesn't make sense. If you're really scared and fearful for your life, you have ample time to get out of the way. Move. Why you got to shoot this person if everybody believes was IFBB? Because this guy is such a scared, because he's going to be scared when he's in front of me. You think he's IFBB, Martae is going to stand in front of me and he's not going to be terrified? Not going to be terrified. He might be able to justify his removing my life. Does that mean that we're going to allow it to him? No, he needs to be if he has ample time to get out of the way of my danger, of the danger and the threat I possess to him, he has to do that.
Hold
Martae, answer that. Would you try lethal force when you see Manar because you're scared of him, bro?
What would you do? Would you pull your gun?
Hold on, can I answer his previous gish gallop that he said? So here's the problem with this. When Manar utters things that don't make any sense, he'll cite things and say, well, the officer didn't have time, but the fact that the officer did get hit proves that he didn't have time. Now, here's the other problem with this whole case is
okay, hold on. That's false, though. Hold on. He could have had time and just stood there, right? Let's say he had like 10 seconds and he just stood there. He would have got hit.
Here's the problem, though, too.
It would have been
Manar's also Manar, hold on, Manar. Manar, you're also assuming the mind of the person by saying the intent when you haven't demonstrated the intent. That makes no sense at all.
Well, Workademics presented an argument for the intent. He showcased that there's a precedent for this guy.
No, behavior doesn't always show intent.
The guy disappeared from the scene.
Unless he's self-deletion orientated or wants to be self-deletion, live the life of self-deletion. I don't understand this. You haven't proved that at all.
Presented a very compelling argument, showcased that this guy puts himself in danger's way.
So he wanted to self-delete himself for what reason? You're not still showing the intent that he wanted to cause harm to himself.
Maybe he heard that he would make a lot of money because he knew that there was a federal investigation.
You know how maybe is carrying a lot of weight here. When you use the words like maybe and if, that's speculation.
I don't know.
You're not demonstrating that.
Me and you, we agree he had ample time to get out of the way. That's
no, he didn't. He got hit.
That's what he's supposed to do.
He got hit. He didn't have time. He got hit, bro.
Because he stopped moving. Why did he stop moving? You agree with me? He stopped moving, but then you
hold on, Manar.
Let me get
it. If we're in a life and death situation, sometimes we can have a deer in headlights moment and we freeze. That's human nature, correct?
So because he put himself in danger and he refused to get out of the way in ample time, now he's actually
hold on.
Now there's
he froze. He froze because he didn't have time. Sometimes in a life or death situation, we can have a deer in headlights moment, right?
There would not be imminent danger to justify the shooting.
Wait, hold on. So you're putting the onus of her to have the authority to make the better decision and not the officer?
You agree with me? If he stepped one more step to the right, there would no imminent danger.
He didn't have enough time. He got hit.
But I'm just saying, if he did move.
He didn't have enough time. He got hit.
Oh, so you're the only one that actually allows to ask hypothetical questions. I'm asking you, what did you eat in this morning? Did you eat any breakfast?
So, chat, I want you to pay attention to Manar's argument.
Manar says, can you just entertain me? If he moved to the, if he stepped, no, Workademics, let's get this clear. If he stepped one more footstep to the right, would there be an identifiable, reasonable justification for the shooting? Imminent danger.
Manar, you just made a fallacy right now. You said the only officer who
felt... You see Workademics? You see if he stepped one more step to the right, this
Manar,
would not be justified. Even
this is a fallacy. You said that the only person who felt like his life was in imminent danger pulled his gun out, but the other officers didn't pull their gun out. Why is that? Why didn't it be imminent danger? Because their life wasn't in danger.
Exactly. So you're showcasing that the only danger was the car, and you're showcasing. So I'm right. Everything I'm saying is right. So the only danger is the car. No other officer believes there's reasonable imminent danger to their life. The only person is the one that's getting out of the way and stopped all.
Which proves my point. He was in imminent danger. Thank you, Manar. You just proved my point.
That's why he stopped.
He was in imminent danger. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Work. What do you want to add?
Such imminent danger that he stopped moving and stay and just like put himself because of fear, right?
Manar. I just want to say something because Martae keeps saying this, and logically this isn't true. Martae keeps saying him getting hit is proof that he didn't have time to move out the way. But logically, those two things don't follow, right? So if there's a car going down the road and you stand in the middle of the car and you don't move at all for 10 minutes and you get hit with the car, that doesn't mean that you didn't have enough time to move out the way of the car.
Hold on, you're smuggling in 10 minutes. Now, you see what you're doing is disingenuous.
Well, he had 3 seconds. I wasn't trying to be disingenuous.
No, that's fallacious, actually, on its face. He didn't even have enough time to move and got hit.
I'm proving a point that him getting hit is not evidence of him not having enough time. That
is evidence. So if a bullet hits me, I don't have enough time to move out of the way, right?
But Martae, if our argument is that he positioned himself like that, you saying, well, he got hit is proof.
In Temple's analysis of the video, both of them position themselves in the way of this. So here's the problem with that. Hold on.
That's a logical fallacy.
Not to move the vehicle, to pull forward.
All right. Okay. Hold on.
Was this being a direct order, bro? Yeah.
Tim Pool is not an expert. We want to
continue.
All right. Okay. Look, let's just move on to the next question. All right.
I didn't know Tim Pool was God. What is this Tim Pool? Is he an officer? You have better credentials than Tim Pool.
We are appealing to the video that we saw.
You have better appeal of authority than Tim Pool. Why are you appealing to Tim Pool?
We're appealing to me and him are both appealing to the video, not to each other.
No, you're using Tim Pool's words, which is a propagandist.
You said Tim Pool said. That's what you said, Martae. You didn't say the video from Tim Pool. You said
Pool's analysis of the video. We're both referencing the video that we were seeing.
So that's an appeal to Tim Pool, bro.
No, that's an appeal to the video because third party.
All right. Appeal to Tim Pool fallacy. All right. That's an appeal to Tim Pool fallacy. Let's move on. Isaac for $10. Question for both Manar and Martae. When Officer Jonathan was in front of Good's car, had hand on her hood, prior to moving forward, did that qualify Section 2 of the U.S. Code Manar put forth? Thanks.
Yeah, so according to Section 2, the person only can stop and shoot to disable a moving vehicle only if a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle. or number 2, the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense
You just proved his point.
to exist.
You just proved his point. Thank you.
Can I finish? I proved this point by making the statement that
Vic, I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
Okay, go get the fuck out of here, man. Let me finish a fucking word. So according to there was objectively reasonable means of defense that appears to exist, which is by getting yourself out of the vehicle. We saw the video that Martae played where the officer just stood in front of the vehicle after he saw the vehicle backing up. He had ample time to get out of the way. He stepped a couple of steps to get out of the way once he believed that he was, away from harm's danger enough to claim this fake injury. He stopped moving, pulled his gun, waited for the person to drive forward, and then shot her. There was like a whole 2 seconds before the person shot, and the officer actually was pushed by the car. Before the weapon was pulled and the officer shot. So when the officer pulled the gun, there was no danger at all. The girl was still backing up. He still had ample time. He decided to stop moving, and which is against the policy that I keep fucking reminding you guys of, which is because there's an objectively reasonable way to get out to defend yourself from the situations, because there's no other reasonable threat or violence except the car. You have to get out of the way of the car. That is the number. That is according to the policy. The officer fails to get out of the way of the car, even though he has ample time. No other officer believes there's reasonable suspicion of any imminent danger except the vehicle, which is why they don't try to stop and shoot it. Showcasing that the only reason for there was a reasonable justification for the shooting is if you were standing in front of it. And I'm arguing that that guy stood in front of it against the policies and against logical conclusions of him. Why would you stand there and pull the gun if you have ample time to get out of the way? The policy says you need to get out of the way. So I'm saying the only other reason he would do that if he had the intention to harm himself or to justify the shooting. And that's how I'm reading into his mind, because he's doing something against the policy and the training that he was given.
So hold on. I'll address this real quick. Who has the authority here? Renee Good to drive off and disobey orders, or the officer telling her to stop?
She can evade. She can evade arrest.
Who's the authority in this situation? Renee Good or the officers?
She can evade arrest, and you cannot justify shooting her according to the.
She can evade arrest. Hold on. You just said it right now. She's allowed to evade arrest?
Yes, she's allowed to evade arrest as long as it's not a felony.
Hold on, you're setting a new precedent. So any criminal that's told to be detained is allowed to evade arrest?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, no. Manar said it. Manar said it. You're allowed to evade arrest. Right?
Let me say.
He's talking about use of deadly force. No, Martae, he's talking about
Manar said this.
Yeah, I'm talking about the evasive arrest for use of deadly force. You're not allowed to shoot somebody evading arrest.
Was the onus on her to evade arrest, or was the onus on the officer to further detain her? Who has the authority here?
Who cares?
The officer has the authority.
Who cares? Wait, hold on. So if we don't care, then officers no longer have jurisdiction or power.
We're talking about imminent danger, not the authority of arrest.
No.
We're talking about imminent danger.
If you have no authority, you create danger to public and officer safety. We need to be able to have authority and have a hierarchy of authority here.
The policy is not talking about arresting her. The policy is talking even if you are arresting, if there's no other means of violence except the car, you cannot shoot it to disable the car.
You just justified her evading arrest. You just justified her evading arrest
to disable the car. You can't shoot into the car to disable arrest.
No, hold on. Let's get back to this. You just said that people can evade arrest if they're detained.
No,
you're not allowed to shoot into the vehicle and stop them.
Hold on.
If they're evading arrest, you're not allowed to do that, except if they're putting danger to you.
That's about precedence when you're allowing criminals to evade arrest. Is that true?
No, Martae.
Yes, you have to. You cannot shoot an evading criminal. That's against the policy of use of deadly force.
You just said. When I asked you about this dichotomy of the officer having authority to tell her not to move when she's detained, and you're saying that she's allowed to evade arrest, you're taking away all the authority of the officer. Yes. That's creating more jeopardization and safety to the officers.
Officers may use force only when no reasonably effective, safe, and feasible alternative appears.
Martae, can I explain what Manar was saying?
She's allowed to evade arrest, and you said yes, she is.
Yeah, Martae. So here's what Manar was saying. When he said yes, she's allowed to evade, he means she's allowed to evade without the officer having justification to shoot her. He's talking about
that's not what I'm talking about. No.
Hold on. That's what he was talking about.
Absent the shoot, is she allowed to evade arrest and disobey orders from an officer?
No, she's not allowed to disobey orders from an officer.
Okay, so if she's not allowed to disobey orders, do you think a Renee Good would still be alive if she followed orders?
But that's the thing.
Yeah, and the girl would not be R worded
Right,
if she
okay,
dressed
so she
up
would still be alive
conservatively.
if she
Yes, I
followed
agree.
orders.
So
No.
it's comply or die. It's comply or
You
die.
guys just
You're a
destroyed your whole
bootlicker,
fucking argument right there.
You're a
Oh, you're
bootlicker.
trash
You're
debate.
done.
You're
You
trash
guys are
debate.
cooked.
You're a
That's it.
bootlicker.
All right. All
First
right.
of
All
all,
right.
he says things that I
Let's
said
move
that
on to the next
I did not
question.
say. I don't
You
know how
guys
he
just got
concludes
cooked, bro.
this.
That was bad. That's
Bro,
bad.
bro, comply
right.
or die. You literally say comply or die.
Let's move on to the next question, guys. All right.
I've never seen somebody put words into people's mouth like Martae. Holy shit! Can you calm down, Martae? I know the roids
I'll
are
put some bacon
raging
in your mouth,
inside
bro.
of you. Hear what
All right.
I'm saying, man. I'm not saying you can.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you.
I'm not telling
Okay.
people to run away from cops, and that's
Okay,
Manar,
Manar. Let's move on. You could save this energy for the open panel, but we're never going to get to the open panel if we linger on these questions. Okay, fuck it button for more because I hate myself. I guess what? All right. Well, thank you very much, and also
Fuck
thank you
you,
very much,
Martae.
Isaac. Also, thank you very much, Isaac, for the $2. Ken for $10. It can't be murder if it was justified. Murder by definition, unjustified killing. They are just trying to frame ICE officers as power-hungry tyrants.
This is one of Martae's students. You said justify. You said murder. You can't. That means you actually are claiming that the shooting is not justified already by using the word murder. Calm down, bro. I'm just saying that she was homicided on the streets of her city by federal fucking agencies that are out of state that came and claimed her life for what they believe was a justified, reasonable fear of their life, which is a complete load of bullshit. If anybody touches my mother like that, I'm coming after you. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Well, yeah, and
All the
I just want
non-sequiturs in the world, but let's
I don't give
continue.
a fuck who you are.
Hold on, wait, I
That's
got a
crazy.
comment.
Yeah,
I
close
got
the
a
door,
comment.
bro.
We
Let's
have
go back to
honor.
the
We're
topic.
not Americans. We're not Americans. We don't cook ourselves to our daughters, boyfriends. I will murder whoever tries to fucking touch my mother. I will murder you. I
Okay.
don't care if you're a
All right.
federal officer or whatever you
Quick
are.
comment. I just want to add
That's
in.
a court comp. Let's continue if we can.
Yeah,
Touch my
quick
mother like
comment
that.
is that the arbiter of if it's justified or isn't justified would have been a jury, but since they didn't try it, then we actually don't know the.
This was
actual-
tried internally. It has to pass a 601
No, no, no.
investigation
Martae,
for the officer to still be cleared to
Martae.
be on duty.
Who is the ultimate arbiter of reasonable or justified? Who would be the ultimate
justice
arbiter?
system,
of
and
that?
we have an internal system for that, for sure.
The government wouldn't be able to be the ultimate arbiter if something's reasonable. It has to go to
It is the arbiter because what determines if the officer is allowed to stay on duty or not? Who determines that?
So here's the thing, George Floyd. You would say George Floyd.
Answer the question. Who determines if the officer is allowed to still stay on duty or not?
Who determines that? The other officers, if they arrest him or
No,
not.
not the other officers. Who determines this?
Yeah, if they're going to press charges, whatever entity would actually press charges on them.
No. Who determines this? Can you answer the question? I'll answer it for you.
Your question is who would determine if. Go ahead, say it again for me.
So who would determine, because if you're saying that there is no arbiter, right? You're saying that there's no arbiter that is us, right? Who determines if the officer is still allowed to be employed and still be operating as an officer or agent during the time? Who determines this? Because I'll answer the question for you if you want me to.
Yeah, so that's a different question, but the answer to that question in particular would be his agency.
Right. So if the director clears him and he's cleared, does that not justify the fact that this was a good shoot because it's internally investigated by another entity separate from the agency?
No, it doesn't. Just because his agency justifies him to continue working doesn't mean the shooting was justified.
Okay, well, who besides the agency determines whether or not this officer should be employed still?
Yeah, exactly. The
There
question you're
isn't
asking is
one.
only his agency. Exactly.
There isn't one.
His agency could know he actually murdered somebody and still continue to hire him. Like this, it doesn't mean that he didn't murder somebody.
Right,
Like,
but hold on. Doesn't that still clear him and justify him if they say it's justified?
No, because Martae, I know situations of which.
No, hold on. Does that still answer the question? If it's not justified, why would they continue to allow liability, thus siphoning billions of dollars through lawsuits on the agency's payroll? Why? Who would do that?
Why when he got hit with a car 6 months ago did they not take him off the street?
Because they determined that was justified.
So he got hit with a car.
Thank you.
Now this guy has look. If he gets hit with a third car, I mean, at this point, we're beyond coincidences.
Yeah, but you aren't the arbiter of that. I would say the director and the panel of use of force panel would determine that, not you.
Martae, yes, Martae, I agree. The arbiter, if he's employed or not, would be his agency. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the arbiter of who justifies if it's a justified killing or not. That would go to the people. I would go to the people, just like with George Floyd.
No, the reason why. So hold on. Who has the most knowledge and documentation of this case? Do you think the people or the agency with cameras and video and all this? The experts or the people?
So obviously the agency has the most information.
The agency would still say that he had the impetus of employment still.
Manar, not Manar, man. Look, you see, you're frustrating me so much. I'm calling you Manar. Martae.
No, you don't have an answer for this. You're getting demolished here on this, on the justification for him still being employed.
Do you see how crazy it is that you're saying the agency he works for is the arbiter of deciding if he still gets to work for the agency? I acknowledge that. Yes, his agency gets to determine if he still works there. Even if he stole a candy bar and they had him on video, if they wanted to keep hiring him, yes, his agency could still.
They would determine whether or not it's justified or not. Would you, the public who's not involved and not there at the time and don't have all the evidence and prerequisite knowledge, determine whether or not he should still be employed?
No, I'm not saying that. Why do you keep talking about employment?
Right. So because he was cleared, that also helps my case to say that he was justified. They would not allow a liability to still be employed by the federal government.
That's not, but hold on, because that's even debunked. This guy got hit with a car twice. He's a liability at this point, right? Would you not say he's a liability?
He was cleared and it was justified. Debunk that.
But there was a push previously to have cops actually get insurance, right? And the whole idea behind it is that if cops act recklessly, then an insurer would insure them, similar to car insurance, right? Like, so somebody's a bad driver and they get them doing all the accidents, then the insurance companies would insure them, and then that essentially take the person off the road, right?
Yeah,
and
he would not be an officer anymore.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So let's assume that was the case and cops had to get insurance. This guy got hit with different cars twice within a period of 6 months. You think an insurance company would really say, yeah, this guy, we would keep insuring him? He's obviously in liability to this department, and his department still hires him.
So hold on, I'll give you a case scenario that happened. One time there was a suspect that reached for an officer's gun, and I went for the officer, and I was assaulted and hit in the nose by an elbow. This also happened. I got hit in the elbow 2 months after that during a different scenario where they reached for the officer's gun. Now, thankfully, we have like level 2 holsters that prevent people from pulling guns, and I got hit twice. Do you think they should have let me go or still kept me employed by the department because the situation happened?
Well, I mean, even if you get hit, that's not a justified level of lethal force, right? So somebody can punch
you. Lethal force. He reached for a gun, and I stopped him from pulling the officer's gun. That's lethal force being enacted by the other person. He's attempting to use lethal force by pulling a gun.
Oh, okay, my bad. Look, I didn't hear because you kind of said it really fast. You kind of got to talk a little bit.
Right. So in these circumstances, the officer was neglecting his duties, and he was in a fight for life while the guy was pulling the gun from the holster. He had a level 2 holster, which prevented the guy from pulling the firearm. I tried to stop them, and I had 2 bloody noses within 2 months from stopping a suspect from pulling a gun. This happened in my history twice. Do you think they should have let me go because I was in the same situation 2 months prior, back to back?
It was 2 months apart, but here's the thing. I don't think
that was a fight for life. People's lives were in danger, and I got assaulted twice. Do you think they should have let me go or fired me?
No, I don't think they should have let you go because they're not equivocal.
No, wait. I think they should have looked into it. I think they should have done let me calm down.
Wait, Manar, I just want to say something because they're not equivocal. Because they're not equivocal. The guy putting himself in front of the vehicle twice within 6 months is not the same as people reaching for guns, and they're the ones creating the jeopardy there. In the case of this guy,
Renee Good created jeopardy. They injured this officer. This officer was injured by the vehicle. It's the same thing. The weaponization of the vehicle is the same thing as weaponization by the guy attempting to shoot people. It's the same thing in my situation too. The intent is still implied there.
Look, we could be bullshit. You could be bullshit for all we know, but we know this guy did get hit with the car within 6
same situation. Even if, like, let's say I was bullshitting, they should have let me go in this. Let's say it's a hypothetical. This really did happen too. But let's say this was a hypothetical. Should they have let me go in even the hypothetical? You said no.
They should have done an investigation on you to see how you're doing. Are you being professional? Are you overcompensating for something? Are you doing something wrong? Are you escalating? Are you not de-escalating properly? They should look into you and investigate the body cam.
The de-escalation is the engagement to stop the threat. That's a de-escalation, is it not?
They need to see if you're doing something that's unprofessional against the policy that keeps you
if I get
having
injured,
these things happen to you. And if you are, and it's looked like through the investigation that you are doing it, you have habits that are putting you in danger, they should stop you. And if you
Yeah,
don't
I
stop
got
them,
hurt twice
you should
stopping
be
somebody from
removed.
pulling a gun on officers.
So this is exactly. I mean, your anecdotal evidence does not destroy the arguments that me and Workademics.
So hold on. I wrote 2 lengthy ass reports and got on desk duty for 1 time, and I wasn't let go because this happened twice. According to Mr. Work, he says I
So
shouldn't
you're
have been
showcasing that there was actual repercussions because you did it twice. So there was repercussions that
No, there
happened.
weren't
Like me and
repercussions.
Workademics are.
The reason why I was on
So
light duty is
so it
because I got hit
showcases
and
that
injured. I had a
something was wrong.
concussion.
Let's go to the next chapter.
The repercussion was the injury to me. That's all the infractions I incurred during the job. That's it. Was the injury the same as the officer that got hit by the vehicle? We weren't let go in both scenarios. In both scenarios, there was a fight for life that happened. Right.
Yeah, man.
Same
I fight
scenario.
for my life too.
Okay.
I fight for my life
Justify.
too. You're not the only one that ever. I died 13 times. What are you talking about? I died 11 times.
Oh, you're 50
You're not the
Cent.
only one.
Yeah,
You're 50 Cent
I've got a
donkey
gun
now.
on my head. You're not the only one.
I got you beat. I've died 20 times. Okay, I got you guys all beat. All
I've
right,
died 11
Postal
times.
Joe.
I have
Postal Joe,
every single
$10.
one of them written. One time, I almost
All
jumped
right.
into the swimming pool. I almost hit my head on the stair. It was like I touched my shoulder. I would have been donezo if I went to the left a little bit. That was my first death.
All right. Sorry to hear about all your deaths, Manar. Manar's argument to me, thank you, Postal Joe, for $10. Manar's argument to me saying he just asserts things with no proof was to assert a bunch of stuff he can't prove. Any response to that, Manar?
Yeah, I guess showcasing this the Justice Department's manual, bringing up the sections that are actually applicable to the moving vehicle, showcasing that there's from the evidence of the video, there's no justification. These are all assertions, I guess. These are all non-proofs that I presented. These are not real arguments. I did not actually use the Justice Manual's own policies to actually argue against Martae here and this horrible shooting. Yeah, this is all me. This is my Syrian brain.
I do want to add, though, that putting bullets in somebody to stop the threat is a form of de-escalation.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That's de-escalation.
Police for president, guys.
Yeah, comply or die. Comply or die.
All right.
No, it's don't put yourself in those situations, and there's a higher likelihood of survival.
Yeah, make sure
That's
you
what I'm
guys
saying.
follow everything IFBB Pro tells you. Other than that, you
Obey correct commands and directives from law enforcement and don't obstruct justice. That helps.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I'm an American citizen. I have my right to live by myself without being governed by this illegal law enforcement force. Like, why can't I exist without? I mean, this is ridiculous. So you're saying even if I disassociate from everyone, as long as I don't comply with your forces, you have the justification to come into my house and murder me.
That's a
if there's enough justification
mischaracterization.
and reasonable force. Yeah, and this is something that only you as a ex officer would argue this. Anybody that actually believes in rights.
No, that's a bad reframing of my position. That's a mischaracterization. Nobody's talking about entering facilities or houses to kill people.
Any religious person that does not believe in these these constitutional rights are already defending him.
Yeah,
any religious person that's already scared of these.
That's a false equivalent. You're talking about people entering houses and domains to kill people. That's a whole different. That's false equivalent.
Arguments that you're making.
No, that's not a false equivalent. It would be a slippery slope fallacy, is what you're.
No, that's a false equivalent. Not just a slippery slope. That's a false equivalent. He's talking about entering people's domains and domiciles without permission to kill people.
Well, that's what it's going to lead to.
I'm talking about that the law is written by a secularist federal force that we religious people have no say and no control over it.
That has nothing to do with the argument and has
justifying for it to take our little small rights that we have.
Manar is 100%
argument.
I just want the audience to know that Martae would be the guy championing the fact during COVID, if you didn't wear your mask, that the police can come and execute you if you don't comply with putting the mask back
make
on.
Sure
So that's
you comply.
This is a very bad faith mischaracterization.
Comply or die.
Sorry. You said law. You have to comply with the law. You said it in your own words, Martae. Are you now disagreeing?
So if I tell somebody, hold on, and I'll even talk to Vic and his audience right now. If I tell somebody hands up, don't reach for your pocket, and they reach for their pocket and they're not complying, do you think I'm authorized to use deadly
what
force?
If I don't put my mask on? You tell me to put my mask on.
No. Hold on.
What would you do?
We're not talking about COVID. We're talking about getting people under control in a remote situation.
I'm with you. What would happen if I don't put my mask on?
Do you think the onus is on the person to cooperate with me?
To assault me.
Hold on. If I tell somebody, put your hands up, don't reach for your pocket, am I the authority here, or is the suspect in the authority in this situation?
Martae, why can't we talk about COVID, bro? Because if you're
That
if
has
you're a
nothing
pussy
to do with what we're talking about.
I just
We
want to
talk
say
about
something. Look,
directives
if you're a
in
pussy
obeying
cop,
officer
you think
directives.
COVID
That's what
Assuming
the
that the
scripture
guy
is
is
says.
already a threat
and
for
you
you.
think
Like,
COVID, and if you think COVID was actually a threat to your health because a lot of people supposedly
No,
were dying
you're
from
asserting the
it, and
fact
you
that I
say,
thought
hey,
COVID was a threat.
you
Nobody's
say,
even
hey,
talking about
put
COVID.
your mask on. You're posing a threat to me. Put your mask on or I'm going to kill you. Put your mask on. Martae says, well, you have to comply or you're going to die. You pose a threat to
No,
that
I
cop
never
because that
said that.
cop,
That's not my
that
belief.
cop
That's not the
damn,
characterization of my
is dying
position.
from COVID.
yeah. What if the
All
cop
right.
is the imminent danger of
Yeah, you
guys are
COVID,
just-
which is death?
This is non-tangential to the argument.
Listen. All right. Let's move on to the next one. This one is support of Manar and Mr. Work here. Okay, a positive one for you guys. Manar and Mr. Work won this debate, and Dr. Dewa would humiliate Martae and Emmett in a 2v1 debate.
It sounds like he wants to get another debate going. I mean, I welcome it if he wants to do another debate, but I'll leave this to the poll to decide, the benevolent and charitable poll that we see. Non-biased poll, by the way, too. So,
No, the
right.
poll is biased.
Yeah.
oh, you're just making the
bias.
assertion. Dick doesn't tell the poll how to vote.
Venezuela tells the poll how to vote.
Oh, so now they're bots. You can't demonstrate the fact that they're bots. We're just supposed to bite the bullet and believe that. Sure.
Okay. All right. We have two more, guys. Two more. Then we can open up the panel. So let's do this, guys. Okay. Bucket button for $5. It's hilarious when Manar thinks he's mocking anything other than his own logic. Also, chill. No one wants to touch Papa Manar's wife stock.
Hey, man, this is amazing. I love his name. Fuck you, button. Yes, your name is exactly what you should be doing. Go fuck yourself and sit on a button.
And Bandit for $2, Manar, but did you die? Okay, and that is it. That it concludes the Q&A, guys. So everyone, we got those super chats filled up. So thank you guys very much. So I will be putting a link into the comment section. You guys, if you guys have time to hang out, you guys don't have to stay for this portion, but you're more than welcome to hang out if you have the time.
I'll hang out for a bit.
All right, thank you very much, Manar.
Work is doing great without me, but I'll chill for a minute.
I respect you because First Amender bails, and at least you have the courage, balls, and fortitude to stick around. I appreciate that and respect it.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. All right, Dustin. Welcome, Dustin.
Well, why would we leave if we won the debate, bro? Why would we leave? If anything, Martae should be leaving, bro, because he lost.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen the results of the poll yet. You're making an assumption.
I'll just joke.
Actually, we do have the results of the poll. Thank you for reminding me, Martae. So who won this debate? It was Martae, Manar / Work, or neither. Martae got 78%. Manar / Work got 13%, and neither got 9%. That was out of 86 Venezuelan bot votes. So congratulations, Martae. You are the winner of the debate, according to the scientific poll.
What's up, Avarice?
Hey, how you doing, Martae?
Good to see you, bro.
You're saying 78% of
Good to see you. Good to see you.
people
Cool. How you doing, Mustard?
That's
78% won. And how's it going, Avarice? Good to see you.
Yeah, you lost again, Manar. Sorry.
Avarice, do you not have anything else to do with your life except fucking follow me every time I have
Oh, actually, no. Actually, before you, I just was done debating Maryland.
So, Maryland's so bad faith.
Yeah, that was the worst one. So actually, you know what, Manar? You're actually a relief. Because at least I get to debate someone that at least logically knows he likes to fuck his cousin.
Sexist? Is it because
So, Manar, do you declaw your cats?
Avarice, I thought you were a feminist. Are you being sexist right now?
What? I mean, you can call me whatever you want to call me. You've still conceded to fucking your cousin.
Was she bad because she was a woman?
Again, here, hold on. Let's just go back. I can do it for you again. Let's just make sure we didn't forget. All right, there's my woman. Right there. Right.
I see hair.
You're a feminist girl.
Yeah,
you're a feminist guy. Why are you talking shit about that woman?
Again, that's my woman. We were making out in public just for you, Manar. Just so that you could concede to having sex with your cousin, right?
I mean, he seems like the type.
Here, I just want to finish our debate. All right, I want to finish our debate. What is worse?
Are we sure your wife is an actual female? I mean.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you would be an expert, wouldn't you, Manar? Couldn't you tell us?
I physically saw a baby come out of her. So yes, I can say that's pretty female.
Consider
Next
the source,
perspective.
Alex. Consider the
Next
source.
perspective.
That's a bigoted historical purview, my friend. You need to evolve past.
Look, that was just observation, right? Next thing is, Manar, can we just answer the questions so then I can leave the panel? Do you still agree that it is more disgusting for me to kiss my wife in public than for you to have sex with your cousin?
Yes, it's absolutely disgusting that you believe that you can go and sit there and make out and have sexual activity with your wife in front of children and in public.
No, just kissing. Tacitly agree to fucking your cousin.
That is a sexual act in public.
And you'd rather have sex with your cousin before doing
Let me
that,
ask you a
agreed?
question. Can you
I think he just tacitly agreed to that.
Yeah, I did.
Is holding and fondling her breast, is that okay?
I mean, yeah.
In public,
I guess.
In public. Yeah, according
Sure.
to you. So yeah. To me, kissing is exactly the same level as fondling her breast.
Okay, yeah, again, but do you agree that is more severe than having sex with your cousin?
No, not at all. Because as long as you're married to your cousin, you're not committing an adultery. There's no immoral.
Okay, so as long as you're married to your cousin,
you can marry your cousin. Yes. Can somebody
okay,
that's crazy.
Can somebody tell me why should I go against
That is crazy.
Can I just say something? Because Avarice's argument is kind of bunk here because he said more disgusting. Hold on, I just want to get this point out. If we're talking about more disgusting and we're talking about quantifying that, less people would see two people banging in a room privately than people would be able to witness two people making out in public. And if people saw two people making out in public and thought that was disgusting, by that metric,
again, yes, we're going with
it's more disgusting to make out in public than what two people do in private.
Yes,
So,
again,
I mean-
we're talking about just the idea here, right? We're not talking about the action itself and where it is. We're talking about if you were to agree, which one would be worse, right? And I'm not even going with the fondling. I'll just concede that. But kissing my wife when I put my groceries away in the car, and then I give her a kiss for my manliness because I just loaded all the groceries into the car, and all the fucking heavy lifting and all this stuff, and I did it all, and I get my little. I did it right at the car, right? He thinks that's worse than going out and marrying your cousin.
That's actually a straw man. That's not the debate, the argument that you asked me earlier.
That's what I originally. That was the original statement. That's where I went.
Manar resembles somebody who comes from an uncle and a cousin.
I can look at if you want. We can go to the original.
This is a straw man. I'll show
if you want, we can go to the original clip when I was talking Manar on Speakeasy's panel.
Jesus, dude, there's some personal shit going on
that
here.
fondling her tits is too bad for you. You're not even gonna.
No, I said I would. No, I said I would grant it. I said I would even grant that I would do that. Again, I said I would grant that. That wasn't the original, but I'm granting that.
Between the two of them, who do you think
on
would
top
win?
of it, Manar, sure. Listen, I will grant it. I will fondle her boobies for getting those groceries. I'm giving her a little fondling. I'm giving her a little fondling. I'm giving her a little fondling.
Give that, yeah.
Right for those groceries. Like, mwah, right?
Yeah, that's
mwah,
completely immoral.
right?
That's disgusting.
It's
You can wait till you go upstairs before you fucking fondle on your wife and.
But so you would rather have sex with your cousin?
I'm saying you cannot fuck.
Would you rather have sex with your cousin than to fondle your wife in public?
I cannot have adultery with anybody. I don't want.
Manar, are your mother and father the same as the uncle and aunt?
What?
Just curious, Manar.
Okay. Do you agree that if you were married to your cousin, you would be okay to fuck her?
How is the Christian arguing against this? This isn't your.
If you were married to your cousin, would you fuck her? Yes or no?
I'll answer this after Christians tell me. Are you following Leviticus law or not?
What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer that. That's fine.
No, I'm not following Leviticus
Answer his question directly. Can you?
So you can answer. So I'm supposed to answer, but you can't answer my question.
I did. I just answered it. I just answered for you. I said no. I'm not following Leviticus
You're not
law.
following.
Now your turn.
Kiel, what about you? Do you follow Leviticus law?
No, he asked you. Why are you
How
bringing
many generations of inbreed
do you follow Leviticus
Manar is a result
answer
of?
his question directly. It's between you guys.
I answered you directly. I said no. I answered you directly.
You're not even a Christian. I want to see.
No. Answer Avarice's question. He asked you a question. He answered
I want to showcase that the Christians have nothing to stand on if they actually follow Levitical law.
You can showcase all you want. Again, you're dealing with a secular human right now. Can you please answer my question?
I'm saying. So this secular humanist, you're disgusting, immoral, pig-eating.
Yeah, cool. Can you answer his question?
Can you answer my question?
Why should I try to argue about you and about morality?
What did Avarice ask you? Can you even still man a question?
Anything that you do that is moral.
If you were married to your cousin, would you fuck her?
I don't agree that anything you do is moral. I don't agree that you watch your TV is moral. I'm trying to talk to the Christians. Do they believe that it's immoral to be with your cousin, to marry your cousin?
Avarice is asking you a question. Can you answer that?
Kiel, do you believe it's immoral to be with your cousin, to marry your cousin? Kiel.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's against the prophets. Martae, do you believe it's immoral? Kiel just said that the prophets are actually immoral.
Manar, can you answer Avarice's question? If you're married to your cousin, is it okay to fuck her?
Avarice is not a Christian. He's not even a.
I'm a Christian.
He's a secularist.
Okay, answer my question.
I want to showcase to you that he's humiliating
If you're married to your cousin, is it okay to fuck her, Manar?
I will answer anything Avarice wants to do. He's gonna keep asking me the same question. This guy.
Can you answer?
No. I got more questions. Answer this question. We'll move on to. I got more questions. I got more questions. I got more.
No. To marry your cousin.
I got a book.
Do you believe it's immoral as a Christian to marry your
cousin?
Hold
on. I got a book of Manar questions. Hold on. I got more. Hold on.
God, that's crazy.
I'm showcasing that the
Avarice. Avarice, can I ask you a question real quick?
Like before? Your cousin, that means they're saying that the legacy of Abraham is immoral. The legacy of Ishmael is immoral.
How long are you going to go, Manar?
The legacy of Joseph is immoral.
In this debate, who do you think won the debate between me and Manar and Mr.
Martae Ruelas.
After a certain point, you just got to kind of like block it.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so now can I get a question to my answer? Or I got more questions, Manar, if you want to answer them.
Why are you trying to get reassurance, bro? That goes to show how uncertain you are.
No, because I just want to understand the positions of people on the panel and understand like where they're leaning unbiasedly, right? Avarice has no stake in the game. I'm just going to ask him his opinion. That's it. That doesn't mean I'm uncertain or not. You're assuming my motives.
Do you really think Avarice is an unbiased source as to whether Manar won a debate? Do you really believe that?
To be fair, though, they kind of took an untenable position. How do you argue that a lady hitting a police officer with a car is in any way unjustified? When
I will always,
right.
I always think
literally hit him.
I will always think that the car that hit the lady. So it's kind of, I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Work. We want to be honest. I'm biased to the situation, right? But if I'm talking about the debate itself, I mean, can I speak openly, Martae? They're both kind of spurgy. I know. I am one, right? So it comes down to who had the best argument through the spurging, right? But to be honest. And that's where I'm going to lay the line. Now, if we can go back to the actual questions, Manar, if you don't want to answer this first one that you think I'm just going to circle back, I can go to other ones. But I just want to get through this one that we were finishing up from Speakeasy's channel about if you were married to your cousin, would you fuck her? If you don't want to answer,
you have a collection of dead horses in your backyard. Just asking for a friend.
Me?
Yes.
No, goats. Next. It's how I lure the Islams.
Yeah, Avarice, I would love to marry my cousin. That would be amazing if I could marry my cousin.
You'd fuck your cousin. Good. Okay. All right, next question. We'll move on. All right.
I'd love to marry my cousin.
Sure. Now let's just move on. We'll just hit these topics. You said all I can talk about is cousin.
Why is that immoral? Can you tell me why is that immoral?
I can bring up multiple arguments to why that's immoral. Would you like me to bring up the secular one, or you're just going to say that doesn't count?
Yeah, sure. Bring up whatever you want. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're not a Christian. Thank you.
I mean, I follow Christian nationalism, if that's what you mean.
No, you're not a Christian.
Again,
you're
yes.
A conservative liberal? Is that what you are?
No. Based off a recent manifesto of Jake the Rattlesnake, I'm a secular humanist that follows Christian nationality.
So you're a liberal conservative.
I'm
you're a secular progressive that follows conservative values.
Do you listen to words coming out of people's mouth or what?
He's claiming that he's conservative, but he doesn't follow a religion. He follows progressive ethics.
You can put whatever labels you want on it. Let's just go with the rest of the questions. I'll answer your questions so I can ask more. So it's immoral. it's immoral in my book, primarily because I find it gives me personally the ick. Secondly, it has no, but that was just personally. Then secondly, it adds deformity, lower IQ. It basically doesn't make good humans, statistically speaking, of course.
It causes teeth problems. It causes all kinds of. You have a bunch of birth defects.
But now that I answered your questions here, I will go back to a new question that doesn't involve cousin fucking, since you think I can't get off the panel. All right. Can you please bring up to me? Can you please tell me why are all the Islamic nations under the poverty rate? Most, a high percentage. I would say 70. What was that? 78%.
America has an incentive to destroy any nation that can create success and self-sufficiency for its people that have $1 billion GDP. If a nation can show,
no, I'm talking about I'm not talking about just
my point. Can I answer?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's irrelevant.
No, let him finish. Hold on, it's fine.
My point is, America is the Western force, police force of the modern world.
Oh, okay. So America is the world. Okay.
And they dictate a lot of the political advancements of a lot of nations, and America has a justification, has an incentive to showcase that these nations cannot be stronger than them, cannot be more powerful than them, and have an extremely low GDP. If this nation, for example, Cuba, only produces $10 to $20 billion of GDP per year, in comparison with America, which creates $10 trillion of GDP per year. But the people's quality of life is better than the people's quality of life in America. That's destroying the American narrative of the American dream and that success of American Western civilization. And that
does anybody speak dumbass?
There's an incentive to this Western superpower to not allow any enemies, even allies, to be better or to exist fine and be self-sufficient, and which is why we should see that America has been intertwined with every single political affair of every single
Jesus Christ, bro.
About Egypt and the Arab Revolution, Tunis, Libya, Syria and Timber Sycamore.
You just like to hear yourself speak.
Iraq
this
and the
applies
murder
to
of
every nation, Manar.
Iran, Lebanon and Beirut, Palestine, every single Middle East, Yemen, every Middle Eastern nation that does not follow the orders of America, there's an incentive for America to topple and destroy them.
Every nation
and we
is
see
incentivized
that
the same
in the
way,
American
Manar.
foreign affairs and their policies, the foreign policies of America. Look what they did with Russia.
Here's the
nation that's ever
Okay,
existed
so
in mankind.
now can I? Okay, so hold on. Let me hold on. We're going back and forth. Hold on, we're going back and forth.
I get that. I'm just trying to say something, Avarice, because here's the problem. Your line of argument would also justify why "quote unquote" more secular nations also have higher. No, because here's the thing: Europe and America are more secular as compared to South American and Mexico, more Christian countries. So you could say,
correct me if I'm wrong. Have you laid out an argument, Everest?
Have more wealth than Christian nations. You see how that's an issue?
I just don't think he's laid out an argument yet.
I really haven't, because it's been going in different directions. But,
yeah, just all these questions have been thrown around. They haven't even been answered yet. Like, I don't think he's laid out his argument.
He said we're really poor. That's what you argued. We're really poor.
So
Arabic relations are really poor and low IQ.
I got that. I want to combat a few things, and we'll go back to my original question here. So if America is supposed to keep up optics, as you put it, then why wouldn't you just agree that anything we do as American would be justified, like taking a Venezuelan president, bombing Iraq, anything that we do for a show of force would then be justified if we have the if we're supposed to hold the illusion that we are the superpower. Is that not correct?
Yeah. And the blackmail rings, right? You think Jeffrey Epstein and the blackmail rings were justified too?
Manar?
What?
Well, America, the CIA, Jeffrey Epstein.
So Manar, no, I don't know about the Epstein, but so Manar is saying that it is that optically we are the superpower, so we have to uphold and put everybody down and keep them down. We need to snuff down and put down the boot, right, on everybody else. That's his argument, right? So if his argument is that America needs to maintain optics, right, to keep everybody else down, then why would he would have to agree that whatever we do as America would be justified for optics? That includes stealing.
If we are the authority, then who's going to argue with us when we do it?
Yeah, exactly. So
so you're not disagreeing that you are
no, I'm asking
other
you.
nation. You're just telling me that we have the justification to do it. That's what you're saying.
No, I disagree with you full-heartedly that that's what we are. But I'm asking you if that is what we are, Manar. If we are what you say we are, then you have exactly. Then you have to agree that America itself, everything we do is justified. Agreed?
Manar, if you will, please.
Dusty,
okay,
let me finish it. Let me just finish this line, then you can
just
clear.
not understanding how this logic links together.
Yeah, it doesn't follow.
How does it not follow? He literally said that all of our if we have the ability, we need to keep the people down optically as Americans. We need to optically keep them down. So that means anything we do would be for optics.
Sure.
Yeah, be for optics and American prestige. Yeah.
To keep people down, which means that anything we do would be optically for America's greater strength. Which means if we went and took the Venezuelan president, bombed a ship, went and did bunker busters in Iran, whatever it may be that we used or done to optically put down the oppressors, would have to be justified to Manar. Just to Manar in his worldview. Agreed?
No, yeah, you see, that's where it logically doesn't follow. Because Manar's saying it's done for America to maintain that kind of view that it has. And you can say, with Manar's perspective...
Well, I mean, I don't agree that he's wrong. I think he's wrong, right? So, but he's agreeing to that data, right? If he agrees, if he's saying that this is the case...
Okay,
hold on. I'll reword it.
America says that it justifies his actions.
Sure, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Let me
believe it's justified.
I get what you're saying. Do you believe that America thinks it's justified with everything we do?
Yeah, Bernard? I believe so.
Okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. And if you claim us to be the superpower, I know how to walk this one. Then thank you.
Oh man, no, you're not. You're never gonna get there. No, I know exactly what you're trying to say. You're never gonna be able to link them together. God, you have to concede avarice. America is a secular nation trying to destroy and topple other religious nations. No religious person can justify this. No religious person can argue for America. No religious person can argue for the destruction of their nation.
What are you
talking
about?
Use a lot of
what do you?
If I'm a Syrian, how am I going to say that America is justified to conquer Syria? You understand?
What?
Wait, now you're pivoting. That's a big pivot.
How am I pivoting? That's what Everett's trying to say. Everett's trying to say that America is justified according to his justification.
Not what he's saying.
No.
What else are you
saying?
That's
not what I'm saying. Here, we'll just continue. So if America's at fault for all this, right? At all fault for all this, then why does it like all the Islamic nations, since they're so vast and amazing, why haven't they taken out America? Let's just start with that.
Look what we do. Look how Hezbollah tried to get together. You guys started a coalition lying about Hezbollah's name in Beirut and saying that they were attacking Israel. And that they are a satanic group, that all they want to do is destroy Jews. Look what you did with Hamas. The moment Hamas stood up to stand for their rights and for their freedom of their people, you made them a terroristic group. You took away their ability to and the votes that they
garnered. This dude on Quaaludes?
Their ability to govern their own nation that they won the votes for. And you stepped on their heads. Look what you did to every single Arabic nation, and look what you've done to Syria. You took away.
You keep speaking in such generality. Could you qualify any of this? You are being so general. Look at what happened over here. Look at what happened over there. Dude, you're not saying anything. You can run and tilt windmills all day long and say absolutely nothing, bro. You're not the only one who can just blunt out a bunch of bullshit at random for no good reason with no point and make it kind of sound like it belongs in a conversation because you're fucking retarded.
Okay, when can I finish answering?
Martae, you
You're
lost.
fucking retarded, bro.
Martae, you lost.
Like the fourth pivot you made. Like
It's
you
not
literally
a pivot.
get.
I'm saying if
You are. We were talking
I
about
can prove to you
distinctly
today the
our relation to
Houthis
other
tried to
nations.
fight
Now you're moving to situations
There he
that are
goes again. I can say
completely
things
different,
that
not
just sound like
analogous.
they belong.
Bro, that's the question. The question is, why are you not trying to topple America? I'm saying every time we try to, you label us as terrorists. You go and topple the whole government.
Bro, if I ask you to summarize your point in like 5 words or less, no, if I ask you to summarize your point, if I ask you to summarize your point in 5 words or less, what would it be? You couldn't do it, could you? You couldn't do it in 5 words or less. You don't have a point. You don't know what the hell you're even talking about, bro. You are wiping your own ass with your mouth, and your ass is jealous of the shit coming out of it, bro. I'm just telling you the way it is.
I have a question. Hold on. If you guys tried to topple America, why didn't you?
Yeah, look, I just want to say I don't think America should be toppled. I disagree with Manar, but I think America is going to get toppled once Jesus comes back and brings his kingdom on earth, So America is going to get toppled eventually. But I think it's crazy that people are trying to advocate for it.
Yeah, but you agree with me, Work. You cannot be a Christian in America first, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you can't, because America is of this world, so you can, it's a nation of this world. And
No, two things can be true. You can be American. You can be a Christian and support America. That's ridiculous on its face.
Well, no, because when Jesus comes back, America's not going to exist anymore. Yeah, America doesn't.
Hold on. So you're talking about Christ coming in and just doing this whole thing about the movie about people being taken from the planet. No,
ideology.
You don't believe in that. That's crazy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not about the identity anymore.
I'm Christ before America.
You're talking about the rapture.
Christ absolutely taught to defend borders and be of your nation.
Not only that. We're talking about we're talking about the governance system of America and how it's secularist compared to.
You're talking a bunch of shit, and your ass is jealous.
If Christians want a Christian nation, Christian federal law, then they cannot be America first, which is a constitutional nation definitionally.
You can be a Christian and defend your borders. What are you talking about?
You have to destroy something. You have to destroy the Constitution.
No, you don't have to destroy anything to defend borders.
Yeah.
The borders are of this world, though. So what does that matter when God's kingdom on heaven comes, Martae?
That's regardless. What you're talking about, some rapture bullshit. I don't believe in that.
The Old Testament and the New Testament.
Do you believe that God's kingdom will be here on earth?
So when you're talking about something that is brand new that came out, we don't believe in that.
Yes or no? Will God's kingdom be here on earth, Martae?
That's a whole. This is a whole pivot from what we were talking about, right?
Bro, does God's kingdom exist on earth? Yes or no? Does God's kingdom exist on earth?
Why can't you answer questions, Martae? What's wrong with you?
It doesn't right now.
Okay, so you agree?
That's a non sequitur. What are you talking about?
So what?
Will God's kingdom exist on earth?
It doesn't right now. I mean, that's as close to an answer as you're going to get.
It doesn't right
now.
now.
You're acknowledging that as well. And here's the problem.
Christian and defend your borders and defend your nation. Those two things can exist at the same time.
John, why would that show your face?
When God's kingdom comes on earth,
what do you mean? You were just asking.
America won't exist. Why would America exist in God's kingdom? That makes no sense.
Hold on.
What do you mean?
You're gonna tell me? Hold on. Let me get this straight. You're saying that you can't defend America's borders until Christ comes back?
No, I'm saying it's irrelevant. When Christ comes back, why would America exist if we're all under the domain of God? That makes no sense.
So what are we doing in the interim then until that happens, according to you? What are we doing in the interim then?
Well, people.
I want your mushrooms, bro. Where do you get your mushrooms?
I think we should identify with Christ.
Defending our borders until the day that we die, right? Physically on this plane, right?
People identify with nations, but I think we should identify with Christ before we identify with nations. Yep.
Do you realize you're all over the place, Mr. Work? I just want to let you know.
What?
I don't think that they can call this guy Mr. Work. They must call him Mr. Unwork, because I guarantee nobody's paying him to do this.
I think he should change his name to EBT.
This guy has more money than anybody here, bro.
Hey, I always had a question, Martae.
Bro.
Is it IBBF or IFFB?
It's the International Federation of Bodybuilding.
Okay, so but I was confused because the International Boxing Federation is IBF, right? So I thought maybe it was the International Bodybuilding Federation. So I was confused.
If the International Federation IFBB, yeah.
Listen,
Manure over here,
listen,
bro.
yeah, you're getting aggressive up there. Look, you're just mad because I'm here and you can't justify. Listen, you can't justify my question. Then justify my question.
I'm putting a motion on the table.
White woman in America. Let me get this through. Why you gotta fucking
Can
come up and
we
ruin
call
everything?
Manar manure?
I
Can we
want to see if
refer
we
to
can
him as
murder
manure
white women in
tomorrow?
America.
Look, I
that
just want to ask.
possible?
I just want to ask. I want to ask Manar a question. Like,
John,
if
what's up,
America,
man?
shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut
John,
up.
what brought you
Shut
here,
up.
John?
Shut up.
You don't
Shut
have
up.
any more
Shut up.
chicken.
Shut up.
Dude,
Shut up.
I love and hate John
Chicken.
Mundragon at the same time.
I know he looks
Shut
like
up, dude.
he needs to go put some concrete
Shut
up
up.
somewhere.
Shut up. Shut up. Oh, wow. I work.
Manure.
If America is so bad, why would you?
no
Why
comment
would you
you.
stay here? Why would you stay here? Why do you stay
That's
here?
a
If
good
America's so
question.
bad.
Yeah.
If America
Please
is
kick
so
it off.
bad, why are you fucking here?
Are you guys ready for the answer? I am the only one that's actually justified to be here. America came in and my country.
Whoa,
so
whoa,
it's my turn to come back.
Wait,
Our time to come back to
wait.
America.
Hold
on. Let me get with this. Hold on. Do
Great.
you think that you deserve to be here more than my native people of Alaska?
America are to my country.
You see how you
Our
avoid?
word
You
is
see how you
Great.
avoid? You see
They
how he
great
avoids
day,
the
great
Alaskans? So you think?
America
What about-
destroyed
So
Syria,
what about
destroyed it,
what about the
demolished Syria.
Aleut people?
So now I'm here for white girls.
Oh, you're here for white girls. Is that what it is? You're here for white
Yeah,
girls. You're here to take
white girls
you're here
and
to take
bacon.
names.
I give
Dude,
up. I
white
give
girls
up.
and
Syria.
Bro,
You're
the
only
white
one
girl,
who's
this guy's gonna
I
get me
give up
the
on
forklift to get through the door.
Listen, is your cousin's not white? You won't. You
I
won't
know,
like-
right?
Cousin's not white.
What are you talking about? You think my cousin looks like John?
Uh-oh.
I'm saying that your cousin's not white, so you won't like the white girls.
She's white. Like we're Syrian. We are white. We are whiter than white.
You
girls.
call yourself
Like,
white? So
we are
okay? Well,
Syrian.
then why don't you just
You know
have sex
anything
with your
about
cousin?
Syria?
then?
We're Byzantine. The Byzantine.
Oh,
Empire.
that's what
We
it
are-
is. Can you show me a picture of your
Greeks,
cousin?
Romans,
Can I see a
Kurdish,
picture of your cousin?
Turkish. We're Turkish.
Can you show me a picture of your cousin?
I have like 100 cousins. I have literally 100 cousins. My
the hottest
my father
one.
has 11 brothers and sisters.
Show me the hottest one.
The hottest one.
You have no
Bro,
shame.
you're talking about Syrian women. You're talking about Syrian
Yeah.
women. Almost every single one of them is the hottest one.
Oh, all your cousins are hot.
Every one of them. Has
How about
something
one you haven't
crazy to
slept
her.
with
It's not
yet?
Like black girls.
How about one you haven't
It's not
slept
like
with
black
yet?
girls, a diamond, a nickel every fucking mile. You might find one nickel. Black girls. We're talking
Bro,
about
this
Syrian
dude
women.
is-
We're talking about Lebanese women. Every one
But
of them is a
but
flower.
still,
I can hear it like in his
Lebanese
voice.
woman is
He's
a flower.
crying out for help. This guy.
You think they're like black girls?
All my cousins are beautiful.
You think it's like black girls?
I got it.
You think
Guys,
it's
I
like
just
black
wanna-
girls? Maybe one of them doesn't pull a pussy out of the 12?
I just want to say thank you for
I've
having me.
got the lovely pick
Oh,
of
hold on.
cousins.
All right,
The
hold on.
gorgeous of the flock.
I think.
Would
I think
you like
Mr.
to
Work
see
wants
my,
to say
my
something.
beautiful cousins?
Shut up! You're not even a Christian. Shut the hell up! You don't have any
guys, I just-
justification for
I just want to
anything.
say thank you.
All right.
You're literally
Hold
the
on,
definition of the word.
All right, hold on.
You're literally the definition.
Hold on, guys. Mr. Work, what do you want to say before?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was fun. Martae and Manar and Vic, thank you. It was actually enjoyable. I just want to say also that I stunted the panel on multiple points I made, even with the whole Christian versus nation, which one should come first. Nobody wanted to answer that question because obviously I'm right on those points. So if anybody wants to get destroyed, I would love to have these kind of conversations in the future. And thank you once again, everybody. Martae.
Yeah.
Great job, Workademics. Anybody wants to
thank
come
you
and
very much, Mr.
debate,
Work.
I'll moderate or he'll moderate, whatever you guys want. Anytime you want, come and debate more Workademics.
Hey, so can
That sounds horrible.
Can you order? Can we order your cousins like mail order bride?
What?
I
Can we
imagine
order
they
your
have only
cousins
brides
like
by
mail
now.
order bride.
So if they're
They
my
probably
cousins,
have
then
only
they're not
brides.
your cousins anymore.
What? Well, I'm just saying. So, like, can we just see what your cousins look like? I want to see what the stock
Bro,
is.
my cousins are gorgeous white girls, Syrian girls.
Bro,
let's just
you're
see them.
gonna end up with a Timu version. Watch.
I just want to see. I want to see what your options are.
Manar, let's see what the inbred dating pool looks like in your family.
Manure.
No, this is Palestine. Hey, go fuck yourself, Palestine. I thought you were Palestine News Network. Fuck you, bitch.
Palestine sucks, bro.
Damn, Manar.
Holy shit, dude, this guy's got a lot of ops.
Hey, hey, can we just see?
bro.
I just want to see. Can we like swipe your cousins through your screen like Tinder right now? Can we just get
nobody.
a Menard dating? Can we just get a Menard dating Tinder stock here?
Nobody
They have to be
Syria
inbred,
puts their
though,
pictures
Manar.
on Facebook because
Yeah.
they were
Manure.
getting rounded up.
Yeah,
Come
they
on,
were
one of
rounded
these
up.
times
Did
you
you
guys are
round
gonna
up your
call him manure.
cousins? Did you
In
round
Iran,
up your
they could be 9
cousins?
years old, right? Too.
No, there was a situation like what's happening in Ukraine where the draft
No,
was
6.
open. Any
6
man,
years old.
any person of age
Okay,
would be drafted.
okay, idea.
A lot of people, nobody puts their pictures up.
Now
Well,
I
they
have
could be
this
9
Manure.
according to Iranian law updated. 9 years
Manure,
old.
yes.
Manure, are you still salty about the debate? Do you remember the debate?
Man,
The one I won?
about
You're gonna be
economics.
called manure for the rest of your life.
About economics. Do
hold
you
on.
remember that economics debate, Manure?
Yeah.
Remember
Sorry,
that?
how did I
Manure!
lose that debate?
The one you're still melting about?
How did I lose
That
it?
that cope stream you did afterwards was golden. I love
It was
that,
a
by the way.
fantastic cope
That was
stream. Yeah, you
awesome.
ran away. Remember when
Manar,
you ran
I have a
from the
question for you,
panel?
Manar. When
No,
you
we got
when you
one.
guys
This
do
whole panel calling you
Manar,
manure.
Manar, when you guys send off, you do the ancestry test thing. When it comes back, is it just a circle instead of a tree?
It's just like,
Next
Curious.
Next
Asking
question.
for a friend.
When Mo joined the panel the other day and he asked you a question and you avoided it, is it because he's got a fancy beard or is it because you were scared of his question?
I don't like his beard. You're right. How the
Okay,
fuck
I was
did you
just
know?
I was just
My beard mocks
making
him.
sure.
Call-
Is it because
call
your
him
cousins
manure,
prefer?
English.
Is it
Part
because
of
your
was his plaid shirt? Part of
is
it
it
was
because
the
your cousins prefer his beard
Call
over
him
your
manure.
face?
Yeah,
Is it
I would
because-
be.
is-
I don't
You
I
know
don't think
you
he can
wanna
hold
call
an
him
accent. He's
manure.
acting like a lumberjack. I just don't like the look.
Oh, is that okay? Is it because your cousins are more attracted to him?
What?
or does it not?
Is that
just
why
turn
you're
on?
mad at Mo?
Is it
Are you
because
mad at Mo because your cousins are more attracted to Mo?
Are those
They're like,
jokes
man,
only, like,
Look at the way he's
that
touching
one
his
probably
forehead,
has a
bro.
lot of goats.
That's a stress reliever right there.
Tell you what,
just,
he'd be a very
you
good
just
catch.
hit something.
I'll give you 5 goats for 1 cousin.
Marlon,
fair
come
trade.
debate me,
Damn.
Marlon.
You're digging close to something, bro. Look at those signals.
5 goats.
Watch,
John,
he's sitting back in the
John,
seat.
come debate me on my channel, John. Let's see if you're disgusting people and your thoughts and your ideology is
John.
better than mine.
John,
Me?
this
Who the
one.
hell is
Yeah,
John?
you
Dress your
little
knees
dragon.
up as a sheep. Is that
Manure?
lingerie?
Just sit there, might as
You
well
little
business.
lizard.
What are you
You're
throwing
calling yourself
shots
a
at?
dragon. You're a
Okay.
lizard.
Manar, if your cousin's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
I'll come
You're a
debate you,
dragon.
Hayes.
You're a salamander. You're a
Okay,
lizard.
guys, calm down. I do have a
Wait,
a
no, he
couple of
challenged me
questions
to his
for now.
debate.
last-
So
yeah,
yes,
I got
I will
one-
come to your
One
debates.
last
dude.
question. One last question, and I'll
Come
mute
down
up.
tomorrow, anytime you
I got
want.
one.
I'm
I got one last question, and I'll mute up.
Tomorrow?
And let you go, Emmett. Last question for
Bro,
Menard.
Aris, I don't want you to leave.
Marlon, don't open your mouth.
No,
Marlon.
I said I'll mute up. So last
Don't
question for
leave, though.
Menard for me. Here we go. When
Manure.
you have sex with goats, do you have to put shin guards on?
Manure.
Shin guards, yes or no?
I've
When you have
never
sex
met
with
somebody
goats?
that had sex with a goat. Where did you see that?
Oh, just wondering.
Is that a Syrian thing?
You.
Well, I was just wondering if you needed shin guards. That's all I was wondering.
Premonition, you were going to say something
I
premonition.
heard they have a strong back kick. I was more worried about your physical
Bro,
standing
you can never-
ability.
Shut the hell up, Marlon.
All right, that's all I'm saying.
You.
All right. I wanted to hear what Emmett had to say. Emmett, you were going to ask a few questions.
Yeah, I want to ask a couple of questions real quick. First off, could you please tell me what is the front of the car? Like, is it possible that you know what is the front versus the back?
Sure, it's where the windshield is pointed to.
Oh, okay. And then when the windshield is pointed towards a person, is that person in front of the car or to the side of the car?
Yeah, so like Workademics was trying to point out, the windshield was never completely pointing because whenever the officer was moving, she was also backing, and there was a change of direction. They were both.
You're saying that the bullet curved.
Hold on,
Did I
Dustin.
finish?
Hold on, Dustin. Wait, let him finish.
Yeah, they were both working against each other. One officer was going to the right, and the car was backing up and going to the left. And what happened was the officer completely stopped moving when he had ample more time to move and continue, and therefore the shooting, he had ample time to go to the side of the vehicle. I guess I don't know.
Okay, so next time I'm in front of of somebody that's crossing the street, I just can just go over him because he didn't move fast enough. Is that a good idea? Like I just go to the police officer and be like, you know what, Manar doesn't have the IQ to move fast enough, and that would be like a good explanation as to why I run you over, right?
The problem is that if you're driving in an ample speed, maybe the officer did not have time to get out of the vehicle or ample time. There was imminent danger. The problem is there's no imminent danger when you're backing up. You have ample time to get out of the vehicle. The vehicle is not headed towards you yet. You can see
how much is ample time, Manar?
Yeah, that's what I was
over 5
seconds.
Time? Over 5 seconds. I'm assuming the situation
you only have 3 seconds.
I only have 1 second to do something.
Why do I have the feeling he's like, this is like a football game, man? There should have been a referee there.
Yeah. Flag.
We need somebody to make a call on the play.
Illegal move.
Let me ask you a question.
It doesn't make sense, bro.
Wait.
You're over here like,
hold on.
Yeah. If everyone in there believed that there was a reasonable suspicion of imminent danger and harm to the officers and everyone around, why was the only officer that pulled the gun and shot was the one at the front of the vehicle? None of the other officers, there were 6 of them, none of the other officers pulled their weapon. And
the other officers weren't in danger. He was.
So I'm supposed to believe there was zero reasonable imminent danger to these other officers. The only danger came from standing in front of the vehicle.
What?
And because he had ample time
Manar.
to move away from the front of the vehicle, it was not justified shooting because he
Manar.
Okay,
I'm gonna go back to my first question. Do you know the difference between the back of the vehicle, the side of the vehicle, and the front of the vehicle?
Yeah. All right. Premonition has something to say. Go ahead.
Like when you fuck your cousin, do you fuck her from the back or the front?
Bro.
All right, hold on. Let Premonition get a word in.
Manar, really, okay. With all honesty, that woman drove from the state where she lived.
That has nothing to do with the evidence.
No, Manar, listen to hush now.
Sure, present whatever you want about the case.
Quiet.
It has nothing to do with the imminent danger.
Will you
Go ahead.
quiet up, Manure?
Manar,
go ahead.
If she had been at home at her dinner table like a normal woman, especially being a Muslim, women shouldn't even be out on the streets. So if that woman had been at home, at her dinner table, would she be alive right now? If she had been at home and not involved,
you're getting cooked by a 90-year-old base grandma.
She would be alive and feeding her old dog that had no business being there in the back seat. Don't you understand? Following your religious logic,
based.
that woman should have been at home where women belong.
But do you
Why
understand
are
you're
you?
victim blaming?
That lady should have a row of Roman condos.
You're victim blaming. That's an argument.
You're a Muslim, and your women are supposed to be home.
I know, and you're a Christian, and I thought you're a feminist.
I've never seen a man take it to the face from a woman,
I am the
but it
most
just happened.
unfeminist woman you will ever meet. I am anti-feminist.
Your position
and she
is
should have been at home taking care of her house. So her death
You
is
just keep eating them left and right.
on her.
You keep eating them left and right, Manure.
You just got cooked by Premonition. That was bad.
Can you mute them so I can respond, especially Dustin?
All right, go ahead.
According to Premonition, the woman is the one that created her own danger. According to that, any human being, if we were to extrapolate her argument a little bit and her logic, any human being is risking himself at any point. And all of us are actually in danger.
She would have been thrown off a roof. She would have been thrown off a roof for her.
Let me just finish. Even though we are in the imminent danger, it's actually justified for us to be in that danger because we're supposed to be at home, according to Premonition. That's what her argument is.
The women need to be at home in America and in your religion, the women need to be at home. The women need to go back home and shut up.
I agree with you.
Is what they need to do. And that woman would be alive, and all of these other women causing chaos all over the place. Yeah, but
you have to understand, a
lot
of the LGBT would be
so it's her fault.
If
Stop
everything was
blaming
Muslim,
the victim,
LGBTQ
who is
would
the
be gone.
police officer.
Actually, I have a question to kind of pivot off that for Manar. Manar, I do find it odd that you are at odds with this enforcement from law enforcement, given that Islamic nations conduct their policing in a lot of the same ways, and even Sharia law has, the Hizbah, public order enforcement. So why shouldn't why are you defending
cut
this?
your hand off? Don't they still cut your hand off over there?
Yeah, we don't.
What do you mean?
We punish you. There's punishments to certain crimes. Not very rare is the execution, and I don't believe that.
But that wasn't execution. Wouldn't this fall under public order enforcement, the Hizbah?
No, you're not, this is just the police. Yeah, this is police work. This is
public order enforcement. Public interest is what is it? Masalah.
The problem is
public
not that
interest in welfare.
Arrested.
That's all Sharia law.
I don't think she should be murdered. That's the problem.
I didn't say murder, but I'm saying the situation that she found herself in. She was being a public. She was causing disorder in public, and they were trying to get her under control. So would that not fall under Hizbah?
Hizbah what? Hizbah what?
The Sharia law. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Hizbah what? Hizbah what? Hizbah of what? Hizbah is a calculation.
It's a public order of enforcement. I'm reading this off from a list of Sharia law.
So Hizbah what? The public enforcement. So the calculation for public enforcement. So you're saying because of the things she was doing.
I'm saying it maps onto Sharia law.
We add those facts to the case, and that's how we come up with the judgment. That's what Hizbah means. What does Hizbah mean?
But in going by Islamic nations, my point is, even taking into account the law that you go under, Sharia law, there are things in there that would justify them stopping her and trying to get public order established.
Yes, they can.
Okay, so you admit that they did have the right to stop her and get public order established.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the case.
And then she did not stop.
I argue that they had.
But then she did not stop. So let's say she was in a.
If you're fleeing,
hold on. Let me clarify. In an Islamic nation, if she did not stop and they were trying to detain her, what do you think would happen?
No, we don't execute you.
Even if she tried to run them over, you think they wouldn't?
100%. You don't get executed. No.
What happens if it's discovered that they're homosexual?
No, first of all,
they just go straight to the roof.
What happens? What happens when they discover
a woman? I don't think an Arab man has the dishonor to shoot into
what happens when they discover she's homosexual?
How many cops have murdered Arab?
He won't answer the question. He won't answer the question.
You tell me, Mo. Tell me more.
What happens? What happens when they find out she's home?
All right, go ahead, Mo. I think Manar asked you a question.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, so how many Arab women are being murdered by these cops, according to you? If there's evidence that we can do whatever we want to them after arresting them,
that's not what my claim was.
Where's your evidence that this is?
Where did I make that claim?
A social issue that's
my claim was asking why are you critiquing this in this manner if by your own nation standards they would act
to murder this woman, which is the age of my mother. You cannot murder random people.
So age allows you to do whatever you want.
You need to be a man.
Age justifies you to do whatever you want. So if I'm an old 89-year-old man, I can go rob banks.
Yeah, man. You don't get to get murdered for doing the crime.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I got a question.
I'm gonna go to Islamic nations when I'm really old and start doing crime because I can get away with it.
I got a question.
You do not murder people for committing petty crimes.
Got it. Well, so hold on. Let me answer one question. I'll move on. I got a question. I got a question.
Right.
If you can't commit murder, then why?
That means you deserve to be dead if you obstructed the road.
Okay, is it murder?
Do you agree with that, Mora Butler?
Is it
Do you
murder?
agree you should be murdered if you obstructed the road?
I just want to know. Is it murder if you throw a gay person off a roof?
Yeah, that's a crime. That's a crime of sodomy. You're creating disease. You're destroying your community.
I knew it.
So it's not murder then.
No, that's crazy.
To answer,
you've done this in public.
To answer your question,
how come you answered his question and not mine?
To answer your question, Manor, just in 2024, in one country, there were 31 women that were carried executions in
What country?
Islamic. This is Iran.
In Iran,
Iran.
31?
Iran.
Iran. How many? What
Urine. 2024. So, Manure, when you're talking about the executions, does it do you know what is murder? Do you know the definition?
I don't think he does.
He may not.
Manar,
Depends
do you
if
know
they're
the
gay or not.
definition?
He's looking it up.
I think he's looking it up. Yeah.
Also, while we're talking about executions, can you also bring up from December 2014 to May 2016 the 41 gay men that were executed by ISIS in Iraq and Syria?
They were trying to teach them to fly, right?
Yeah, were they just trying to
Yeah, it was a misunderstanding. They thought gay people were magic to fly.
without bungee
I'm trying to understand.
All right, real quick, guys.
It was
While
nice
Menard's
meeting
looking
you.
that up, Martae said that he has to get going, so he wants to say final thoughts. Martae.
Yeah, real quick, final thoughts. I do want to say thank you, Manar, for showing up to the panel and engaging in a 2v1 that I've never seen before. I wanted this to be challenging. That's why I wanted Mr. Work and Manar to debate me. That's why I did have to appeal to Avarice and just ask for an opinion on somebody on the panel. Just say, what do you think? He did say both of us were spurging, but then sided with me and said that I won the debate. Well, here's the thing, though. Everybody else had points, but I think Premonition actually dominated the whole debate tonight. If it was like just a panel debate, Premonition definitely won tonight, so I'll give her the W for tonight.
Round of applause for Base Grandma, everybody!
A valiant point. The last thing I want to say is thank you, Cool Vic, for hosting the debate. Thank you, Mr. Work, for showing up, and Manar and everybody else. I appreciate Avarice. I'll see you later. Also, Copper's dad, good to see you again too. Panelstein, I love it. Premonition, good to see you. Tomahawk, we never had a good exchange back and forth, but good to see you as well too. Dustin and everybody else, I appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and Christ is God. That's it.
It's nice to meet you, bro, and I agree with you. Amen.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Take care. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
See ya.
Later, man.
Dude, yeah, Base Grandma.
Base
round of
Grandma
applause.
got you good, dude.
Round of applause for Base Grandma. We're just gonna pack those little boys up and send them home, right?
So, Manar, could you answer my question about what is murder?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that answer.
Murder, not manure.
Is murder different than execution? Is murder different than execution? Are they different?
No, they're the same thing.
Okay, so then if that's the case, can you please tell me why Syria and Iraq executed 41 gay men in the middle of the street?
Or the 31 women that were executed by Iran?
Executed. We're talking about just straight up, boom! Executed.
Yeah.
So tell me, can we justify that?
Actually, I think it's head removal.
Well, I'm seeing here.
If they would have been in a car, Avarice, they would have been completely safe under Minar's
A
understanding.
number of people shot to death. So Emmett is saying that the number of women shot to death by Iranian police was 31.
That's not what I said. I said
that's not what he asked.
Do you understand what I said?
That's not what he asked.
Do you think?
Why are you talking over me?
Because that's not. Why are you lying about what I
Why
said?
ask me questions and then when I speak, you start talking over me? Why?
Because you'll take a half hour.
So what did I say that was
Because
wrong?
you're
What did I
lying
lie
about what I
What is
said.
this ridiculous thing?
I
This is
said
why I don't want to respond.
31 and verbatim 31 women were executed in Iran in 2024. Manure.
Okay, by the police, right?
I love that you call it manure.
By the government.
Okay,
right?
I have here showcasing. Shut the fuck up! Don't respond. I have here fucking showcasing you. 1,173 people were shot, killed to death by police only in 2024. 1,170 people murdered by the U.S. police officers, not the government. The police.
How many? Wait, how many people? What was that number?
1,173 in 2024 right now.
Okay,
so
can you
what?
hold on? Can you, if you 1,000,
That's like 1% of 1%.
Hold on, I got it. Just 1,173 were
Compare
murdered
that
by.
to 30,
Hold
30
on.
Divide by 31.
Hold on. Sure.
So what?
Stop,
I don't
stop,
care
hold on.
about
Just give me
that.
two
Wait,
seconds
no,
here.
no, no. This is a what about this?
I got it. Hold on.
I don't give a shit about his what about this.
I'll grant the what about is.
You're fucking murderous.
Dude,
everybody's like
this guy up
All right. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter.
All right, hold
Shut
on,
the
hold
fuck
on.
up, Travis. Nobody's talking to you. Let me finish, Emmett.
I'm just trying to understand. You said
Let me finish him.
1,137.
After I'm done with him, I'll go to you. I can't talk. Hey, Q. There's 8 people against me. You gotta give me a chance, man. I can't talk to 6 people at the time.
You're right. You're right.
Emmett,
Okay,
and this fucking
Manar.
cocksucker with a whore wife. I'll get to him after. Him and his fucking
right.
daughter who's gonna be a whore after him with his wife. Green hair.
Calm the fuck down.
Your wife has
Calm
green
down.
hair. She's not your wife. She's ours.
Calm down, manure.
Go ahead, Emmett.
Yeah, well, the total amount of people.
173 people were shot by the police. What do you think about that in America?
Yes, manure. There was 111 people that were executed directly by the state in Iran. So it doesn't matter about you. What about this? I'm trying to ask about how to justify the 31 women.
Rates of murder in America.
Can you justify the 31? Can you justify the 31?
Your
Can you
country
justify the 31?
1,000 times X though.
It's not 1,000 times X. It's not 1,000 times X.
1,000 times. It's 10%
No, it
times
isn't.
100 times 1,000.
Manar, can you justify the approximately 4,000?
1,000% higher rate than us.
Manar,
Iran's murder.
yeah,
Sorry,
you
not
said
even us.
1,000.
This is Iran. Out of Syria, probably less than 10.
I got it, Manar.
Manar,
Manar, you said 1,137, right?
This
I got
is not what about it. I'm showcasing to you
It
that
is
you're a
whataboutism.
hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You can't stand for you.
Can you? I don't care about hypocrisy. It's a stupid idea. No, you're dumb. You're too stupid. Okay, you're just. I want you to justify the 31.
No.
You're asking me to justify one. I'm asking you to justify the 31. How can you justify? You said that it was murder.
Emmett, he wants to justify 1,000.
You're asking him to justify 30.
Yeah, asking you to here, Emmett. Here, got it. You want to justify 1,137? I got it.
No, justify the 1,000.
Sure. Yeah, I'll justify it as long as you justify the 4,000 in 1979.
What?
So in Iran right now.
In 1979,
why are you arguing for gays? This is against the Christian belief. Nobody
again. I'm not arguing for gays. I'm arguing for life. What I'm asking for here.
I love that response.
What I'm asking here.
Do you think gays should not be executed and should be allowed to sodomize your country and your religion? What do you think?
I think that gays ought to be shamed and not killed. Yes.
But what if we shame them and they continue to do that? Now what?
Okay, but shaming them doesn't mean killing them, right?
But you agree with me.
Hold on.
Do you agree? Them. You would want to punish them,
Do you agree that Iran executed 4,000 homosexuals in 1 year?
What year? What year was it?
1979.
1970. I don't know, man. This is.
Oh, that was so far long ago.
50 years ago. About 2026.
The statute of limitations on the memory of these events
60 years.
has expired for manure.
I'm trying to set what is
from 20 years. Dating completely switched 20 years. Internet, social media, AI, 5 years. AI. What are you talking about?
Imagine the irony of an Arab arguing for the sanctity of a
gay. Donkey pull cart can't use AI. What are you talking about? You have no energy structure. What are you talking about?
60 years. Like talk about today.
Well, I'm trying
today. Like this year.
I'm trying to justify. You said that our cops can't kill 1,000 people, yet your cops can go and kill 4,000 people. I'm trying to understand here.
Well, okay, we're not. I'm talking about executions of illegitimate crimes that they.
Let me guess. Wait, hold on a second. Let me guess. Those guys.
Hold on.
This is crazy. I'm not even about to respond.
Yeah, let him respond.
If you guys want, I'll leave. Kiel, if you want, I'll just head out.
Why are you still dressing like a bum?
Hey, you gotta kick Dustin or I'm leaving. If you don't kick Dustin, I'm leaving.
Anyways, why?
Fuck your mother, because your mother's a whore. That's why.
Because I called you
manure? Why are you still dressed like a bum?
You can't.
Why are you dressing like a bum? You had a debate.
Some
dressed like the economic of his people.
My argument was that 1,000 Americans.
That seems oddly personal. Hey, I tell you what. Can I get a closing statement and I'll leave?
1,000 cops shot. 1,000 people were shot by cops that did not do any crimes that executed them. You're talking about 4,000 people in Iran in 1979 that were deemed to have committed the crime of executable offense.
What was the crime?
And that were actually
charged,
the crime? Went to trial and then
what was the crime?
It's a totally different case. We're not
What's the crime?
What was the crime?
What was the crime?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna kick her out.
Okay.
Oh no, never
Okay.
mind. Never mind. No, I want to stick around. If he's gonna let me stick around, I'll stick around.
All right, but you gotta let him talk and not interrupt though.
So you're saying
I'll
you're
be
saying that 4,000 gays being executed in the street is justified a crime.
Yeah,
for
just
them
like
committing a
America,
crime.
just like America used to outlaw.
Okay, got it.
PDA, used to
So if
whatever
I go,
behavior-
hold on. So if my police force decides to go in and wipe out all the Somalis, is that justified?
the fuck are you doing? How is that equivalent?
I mean,
I love it.
Manar, why are you using a nation that you view as
a behavior that is destructive to their society, that's creating disease, that is actually amplifying?
Okay, so you're talking about the Somali. Hold on, the Somali fraud isn't a disease.
Them all.
The Somali fraud isn't a
with
disease
Tomahawk.
and a curse and a stain on our system.
Start with Tomahawk if they're disgusting and doing disgusting behavior. Start with Tomahawk.
Are you saying? Are you suggesting because he's?
Why did Shrey at me?
Are you suggesting? Are you suggesting because Tomahawk's black, we should start with the blacks?
What I'm suggesting is if the behavior of the community, regardless of their color, is destructive and degenerate and is leading to disease and outburst of.
You're right. So we should start with the Islams.
Then you should stop it. With
the costume fuckers.
And we have the ability to do whatever we.
So the Muslims then that are in the country right now that are taking our money and are frauding our government, we should get rid of them because they are a harm and they are poisoning our society. Execute them all.
You can't execute them because they're not committing adultery. You can
Manar,
lash them. You can lash them.
please?
I'm guessing adultery
Manar,
is your only metric of what's wrong.
Manar, since you're in America, can you please go turn yourself in? We have some executions to take care of.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I
Before
do?
I leave,
all Islam. You're Islam. Because you're Islam. That's what it is.
Because I made fun of your green-haired wife. That's why.
No, because you're Islam.
Because you're
That's your
Islam.
analogy.
Okay.
You're more tolerant than me.
Emmett,
Remember?
You got something to say, Emmett?
Yes, I'm gonna leave. I have some news to cover, but I just want to say,
Why did
Manar,
you even come, you fucking loser? You didn't even
because I look at you and I look at fucking Bum again.
He's yelling at everyone else for interrupting him, but he's interrupting Emmett right there.
Look at the bum. Look, the fucking bum. Then you have a fucking shirt to put on. You have a debate.
I made you change your
I have a lighter room than he does. Why is he in the dark?
Your whole persona changed. You have a whole new YouTube account. I don't know what happened to you. You changed
a whole new a whole new YouTube account.
Yesterday he was Count Emmett. Today he's a whole new personality.
I'm still Count Emmett. I'm just the host of the Palestine News Network, Palestine News Network.
Marlon, don't fucking talk in the chat too much.
The point is that you need to
Marilyn,
get
are you talking
shirt.
Are you talking about the bitch Marilyn?
Yeah, 13,
listen. Hey, look at we agree on something. Look at me and you agree on something. We come to some common ground.
Okay,
we both think Marilyn's a dirty bitch. Look at we both are coming to common ground.
Stop dressing like a bum. Stop dressing like a bum.
Let's start coming. Let's meet on some common ground.
To me, baby.
Average, stop. Okay, you're a bum. Stop dressing like a fucking bum. I will go ahead and take some news today. But thank you for having me on. As always, cool. I hope you have an excellent night.
Later,
and big
nice
W to Manar. Yeah, I'm sorry, to Martae.
Not because
Big
I'm scared
W
of
to
him, because I don't
Martae.
debate women and female logic.
Because you lost. That's why. Because you got
destroyed.
You're still whining and crying about it. You're still whining and crying.
You don't want to debate.
Listen, I'll make a declaration.
I'm better, you fucking bitch. I'm against people.
I will make a declaration right now. I would actually say this. I'm going to say it live, and she's even in there. I would say that debating Marilyn is actually better than debating Manar. I'd actually say that.
Wild concept.
Marilyn can actually hold at least a circular argument back to I'm God. Manar goes to fuck your mother, right? He goes back to fuck your mother. Right? There's a big difference.
No, his mother might get fucked. I don't know.
Listen, here's the thing. But me and you have common ground, so let's meet on some common ground. We both dislike the feminist, the feminist bitch. Okay, now let's start on that ground. All right,
Why are you laughing? You're never gonna meet a blonde woman that likes you. What are you talking about? The fuck are you laughing about?
So you also agree that Marilyn is a feminist, right?
Yeah, she looks disgusting with her blonde hair.
Okay, good. And then you also agree that feminism bad, right?
And I also agree that Maryland does not. I cannot see a difference between Maryland and a Christian woman.
Okay. Now, do you also agree that
they
it's
look
not okay to
exactly
fuck your cousin?
Huh?
Now, do you also agree that it's not okay to fuck your cousin?
You brought it right back there.
Adultery. It's not okay to commit adultery with anyone.
Okay.
Why do you keep hitting with his nuts? Why? That is so rude.
Marlon, for real, stop by my channel, Marlon. I mean, if you like to get humiliated.
Manar, are you going to answer the question or not? Come on, dude. Come
I
on.
already answered. I said all adultery is immoral. If you want to marry your first cousin, go for it. Marry.
Okay.
Okay.
So
hold on. Okay, guys, I gotta bring the fun to an end because I gotta get going, guys. So
Vic, no, I'm having so much fun with the cousin
You're getting
fucking.
donations, Vic. What the fuck?
I gotta get going. I gotta call it a night. It's dinner time.
Damn.
Dinner's calling me.
Vic, this was really fun.
Dude, base grandma.
Base grandma with the
Base
ultimate
grandma.
burn. He buried him.
We know why it was
Really
fun.
brought in.
She came in like a wrecking ball.
We know who made it fun. We know. You guys tried to destroy it. I was the one that made it cool.
all right.
No, Manar, look at you are an interesting person. You do give your solid bed. I'll give you that. You come up and you take solid licks. I'll give you that. And it takes a certain special somebody to concede the cousin fucking. So you dude, I got to give you credit for that. All right.
I was
surprised you actually went along with that, but I mean,
I
guess
listen,
your worldview.
Look,
it makes
I'm
sense.
gonna give you.
a special person to be on this panel to do.
No, so I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of credit, man. It's good to see you, Manar. All right, I'll throw out the olive branch. It's good to see you. I'm glad.
Me and you. When are we gonna do a 1v1, Avarice?
What are we gonna debate about?
Workademics can moderate this. Come tomorrow. We'll do Christianity. We'll do.
You don't like doing secular. You don't want to do secularism. You don't want to go against this.
You don't want to talk to a secularist.
We're way smarter than you. What are you talking about?
Tell me how you don't fuck your cousins and shit. Why you're better?
I don't know, man. How do you take?
Don't forget to add you feed your children. Don't
Oh
forget.
wow,
It gives me
shit.
the ick to fuck my cousin. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just say that right now.
I
It
said
gives me
that
the
too.
ick.
I said it too.
It gives me the ick. It, like you said, like I agree with every point. It
That's
gives me
crazy.
the ick. It will produce like really retarded babies, potentially, and it's like,
Much
why
love,
would
Vic.
I
I'm
do
out.
that? Why? And also, why would I do that when there are more beautiful women out there that are of age and not my family?
Bro,
Yeah.
What the
are you
fuck?
talking about?
But if it makes you feel any better, I'd have sex with premonition before I have sex with
just because
Marilyn.
you have a black family and every girl in your family is disgusting and looks disgusting doesn't mean my family members are gonna be ugly. Look, this is by the way showcasing. By the way, this is Thomas had just agreed with me that black women inherently are ugly.
I never said anything about black women. I didn't say anything about black women.
All right.
But
I think Martae. I think Manar froze. He
he
was saying
froze.
something and then he froze.
That's a good place to leave him.
He spurred so much he broke his system.
Manar, how do you feel about
He
this?
needs to go to the streets. He needs to go to the streets and to the bars and to the theaters to meet a girl that's cute, maybe, because he cannot find a single cute girl in his whole family. My family's
family
full
reunion.
of beautiful women.
I don't know why he keeps going at my family. I don't know why he keeps going at my family here. My family didn't do anything.
His family. He's talking about how
my
his family
family
is. Bro. He's talking about fucking his own family.
Those family reunions, man.
Hold on.
That's where you get them.
I got this. You know what?
I think that would be amazing.
Hold on, guys. The reason why Manar is saying all of that to me, the reason why Manar is saying all that to me, is because he feels that kinship.
I'm the only one that makes a joke and all.
You're lining up all your cousins. You're lining them all up. That's what you're doing. Hey, Manar family reunion. It also has the maid pool. Come fuck your cousin for free.
Avarice. He's saying all this. He's saying all this to me. He's trying to get me to fuck my own cousins because as a quote unquote fellow minority, he thinks I'm just going to join him on fucking each other's cousins for whatever reason.
I agree with you.
I don't know why he would think that as a black minority,
I agree.
he would think that I would just
You need to follow in your people's racial stereotypes. You need to go down to O Block right now and go fit in. All right, you need to go to O Block and go fit in with your people.
I'll give you one better. I'll go to Detroit. Detroit.
That's where O Block is.
No, O Block is Chicago. O Block is Chicago, bro.
That's Chicago. You're right.
Because you're black. I said this because you said you don't want to be with your family, and why would you be?
I don't want to fuck my family. There's a big difference, dude. There's a big difference.
That was your argument.
Oh my god,
that was my argument. You keep saying that. You tried to drag me in.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for being on the open panel. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
thank you very much, Premonition, Mo Rebuttal, Avarice, Tomahawk, and also Manar. Thank you very much for coming on and debating tonight. Hopefully, we could be back on to debate in the future.
Hey, Vic, do you have?
Allow me to close out.
Yeah, close out 2 seconds. Vic, do you have a second for backstage after?
Not too long. For a little
but
bit.
You got like a minute so we can talk about Nor?
Yeah, I could talk a few minutes. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. For sure.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kiel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you so much, Kiel. Appreciate their time. I give you a hard time, but this is a little bit of theatrics. A little bit of is honest, but a little bit of theatrics as well. Obviously, I don't hate anybody. I'm not angry at anybody. I just I like to conflict and I like to resolve it as fast as possible, and so that's what I do. Appreciate you guys for hanging out here today. We tried to present the arguments. I believe that Work did an amazing job. His argument was completely different than mine. He was able to show.
You froze again. Manar froze again. We'll just wait until he unfreezes.
Linked up to the. Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You froze for a little bit.
Sorry,
Froze like 10 seconds.
Sorry. I don't know what's happening with my internet, but I was talking about the use of force policy, and I tried to bring up how the actual policy was not being administered in the act, during the actual actions in that situation. Whereas Workademics was actual argument was about much deeper things, talking about the de-escalation, extending of force. What an amazing argument! I believe that we did amazing because we both literally came up from different angles and tried to attack the situation and had the same justification at the end. And whereas Martae, all he had was present a video, false equivalency, tried to destroy the actual debate, showcasing different reasonable suspicion of imminent danger situations and accounts, and tried to equate it with this situation. Whereas when all he needed to do, and this is why I think you should ban videos from intros, is because he completely muddied the water. All he had to do was showcase the justification of the shooting for this woman today. Why did he have to go and show us 6 different shootings of 6 different officers that were hit to try to muddy the water and showcase that this officer actually was so fearful? Yeah, if he just watched this movie that Martae just directed, yeah, I would be fucking fearful for my life. I would never go to the forest ever again. I would never leave my house and drive a car ever again. God, the police are murdered. If I saw that video and I believed Martae and this is the truth, God, cops are being murdered every single day. Shoot every vehicle you see. But the truth is that's not the facts of the matter. All we have to do is dive into the facts of the matter. That's why it was extremely important for the videos to be played, to showcase that the police officer, if he believed imminent danger, he needs to jump out of the way. He can't actually just stand in the way and then say, oh, I had to shoot her. And Workademics showcase that because any officer can now stand in any vehicle's way and then just act like he can get out of the way. So many ways to justify this. Martae failed and able to do so. Next time, try not to do 1v2. Make it 1v1, 2v2 better. I think 2v2s are hectic. 1v2s are hectic too. 1v1 I think is the best. 2v2s at least some kind of balance as long as each person. But I think we justified everything. Avarice, if you can get me Avarice, man, a lot of people will pay for that, including me. And get me Avarice, I want to embarrass him. And yeah, thank you so much for this. Kiel, anytime you want, welcome on my channel. If you want to debate me, I'm open as well. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, Manar. Thank you very much for coming on the channel. Yes, you are very anime, but you are very entertaining. I'll give you that. Thank you for being on and stuff like that. Have a good night, Manar.
Take care, guys.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the cool stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel, and make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.